A night in with MauLer and the drinker, getting trashed with the web screen thinkers. A cheap night cause I'm feeling kinda thrifty, got a 10-pack of beers and a bottle of whiskey. Hop up the cork, have a glass of wine, that's fiancé, I'll be fine. Trouble walking in a straight line, but pour me a Pinot Noir. It's open bar with our hosts, MauLer and the critical drinker.
Hey everyone! I like how right at the end of that you just hear one guy go "woo."
Yeah.
Never really noticed it.
Fans.
Yeah. Hi everyone. We're sorry we're slightly late tonight. We were wrestling with all kinds of technical problems behind the scenes, most of which weren't even my fault. It's just some of our guests were having.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, sure, it wasn't your fault, drinker. I believe you. Well, we made it in the end, MauLer. So we're back after a week's hiatus. These hiatuses, or how do we say it? Hiati?
Hiati, I'm sure that's it.
Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah, it feels like they've been a bit more frequent recently. It's just because there's been various things that I've had to go away and do. Obviously, a few weeks back, I had to go away and oversee the filming of Trial by Fire, and then last week, what can I say, man? I was just on holiday. that was a nice break. Yeah. But anyway, I'm back now, and it's time to get started again. So I don't know. Shall I hit you with some facts?
I think
ready
you
for this.
I mean, we've missed out. Oh no, wait, it would stack. We're fine. We don't miss out a year or anything. Yeah,
we never miss a year. We never leave a year behind. Good. So in this case, the year would be 1961. So a bunch of stuff happened this year. Actually, it's quite an interesting year. The space race began officially when Yuri Gagarin was launched into space, becoming the first ever human being to enter the atmosphere. So
yeah, crazy. Wasn't it a giant slingshot, and they pulled the elastic back and just.
It was. Can you believe that they had that many rubber bands all stuck together that they were able to get him up into space?
Yeah, and they use that technology to this day. So that's pretty cool. Revolutionary, I would say.
Yeah, so the Soviet Union were kind of busy during this time as well. They built an entire wall in Berlin. That began in August, actually. East Germany began construction of the Berlin Wall to basically combat the amount of people who were fleeing from East into West Berlin because they didn't quite like it so much over there. So they're like, yeah, we'll just put a big wall in your way. What are you going to do now, huh? And it was to remain in place for the next 40 years. So, yeah, obviously a very significant moment for global tensions, really. Also, it was the time when the Vietnam War began in earnest. The US sent 18,000 troops over to South Vietnam, which began a major escalation of the war there. And also, the Soviets weren't just building walls; they were building bombs. Apparently, this was where they launched the Tsar bomb, the most powerful nuclear device that's ever been detonated. 50 million tons of TNT. It was equivalent to. It was apparently actually capable of going over 100 million, but they didn't want to do that because it would have been a bit much, even by their standards. So it's nice that they scaled it back a little bit.
Sir, this will blow up the solar system. You're like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently they were worried about the amount of radioactive fallout from it. So they were like, yeah, we'll just scale it back to 50 megatons instead. But yeah, even when they built it, they knew it was never going to be a practical weapon because it was far too huge and cumbersome to actually be used, and you couldn't put it on a missile. So they just did it for a laugh, really. Shits and giggles.
Yeah,
I'm sure they had a great fun blowing it up. But yeah, just for reference, it was 3,500 times more powerful than the Hiroshima bomb. So it's quite a bang it went off with. Anyway, in the world of film, probably the biggest movie of the year was West Side Story. That was almost 20 million that made at the box office. Obviously, it was remade. What was it, back in 2021? I think the Steven Spielberg version with everyone's favorite actress Rachel Zegler. So,
well, didn't it nobody saw it? I think
it absolutely cratered at the box office. Yeah. Yep. Also, it was the year where Albert Broccoli and Harry Saltzman, they basically bought the rights to the Bond movies from Ian Fleming. So they bought the film rights. I'm sure that was never going to go anywhere.
Nah.
Bond? Who's he? Really? Did anyone ever care? No, but In a slightly more serious vein, just the following year in 1962, that's when we got Dr. No kicking off the Bond franchise. Sean Connery, a bit of much discussed lore apparently is that he flubbed his very first line as Bond during the casino scene, and he introduced himself as Sean Bond, which is superb.
Bond.
Sean Bond. No, Sean, that's not what you're doing. You're getting confused. I guess nerves. You know, he was a relatively inexperienced and relatively unknown actor at the time, so I don't blame him for being a bit nervous with that. And yeah, one of the, in terms of awards and stuff, probably the biggest and most successful movie of that year was Judgment at Nuremberg. Obviously, talking about the Nuremberg trials. It was nominated for 11 Academy Awards and won in 3 categories. The cast is wild as well. It had Spencer Tracy, Burt Lancaster, Marlene Dietrich, Judy Garland, and best of all, William Shatner.
Hey.
Quite a lineup. Anyway, that was it. That was the year of our Lord 1961. Consider yourselves educated now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, should we lower the tone by bringing our guests in? What do you think?
I suppose we can.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Well, welcome everyone to the bar. Robot Head, Erin Underwood, and Vex Electronica. How y'all doing?
Good.
Yes.
Very good. Right now.
We can hear you, Erin.
Yes.
Finally. Yeah.
I've been in StreamYard all day, and suddenly my mic gives out at the very end. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. These things happen all the time, sadly, especially with StreamYards. It seems to be happening more often. Vex, I like how you've changed your profile picture yet again to something far less suggestive.
Listen, I got to get the female representation right up front. You know, sorry, Erin, no offense to you. No offense to you.
I don't know, Vex is making me hungry.
I just want a sandwich now, really. Yeah.
Then I've done my job. There you go.
It looks glorious. Let me ask you guys, actually, now that we're all assembled here, you guys are all big fans of Disney Star Wars, aren't you? It was a fantastic run that they had with their movies, the sequel trilogy, you know, Rogue One.
We are famously a set of people who are fans, all of us. Yes.
Strong Disney Star Wars defenders. But did you know that there was a much discussed but never produced movie that Adam Driver had pitched? And it was going to be a sequel movie with Kylo Ren making his return. And it was... It's called The Hunt for Ben Solo, which I just think is fantastic. But yeah, this is a story that's just come out via Deadline, I think, when he was doing an interview recently. It says here, when he was talking about playing Kylo Ren and how he was very much appreciative of the character and wanted to go back to it, which I think is an absolute lie, but let's go with it for now. He said here, and I quote, "I was always interested in doing another Star Wars. I've been talking about doing another one since 2021. Kathleen Kennedy had reached out, and I always said, with a great director and a great story, neither of which is likely to be forthcoming from Lucasfilm, I'd be there in a second. I love that character, and I love playing him." Lies. Anyway, we presented the script to Lucasfilm because he'd gone to Steven Soderbergh, apparently. And he was very pleased with the script. They loved the idea. They totally understood our angle and why we were doing it. We took it to Bob Iger and Alan Bergman, and they said, no, they didn't see how Ben Solo was alive. Neither do I, to be honest. And that was that. And it was, tentatively titled The Hunt for Ben Solo.
Yet they easily saw how Emperor Palpatine was alive. That's an easy one.
I mean, yes, somehow Kylo Ren returned. The thing is, right, because I want to separate the art from the artist here and say I like Adam Driver as an actor. I think he did the best he could with the material he was given, but holy fuck, man. Like, Kylo Ren is a terrible character, and I do not understand why he thought he could do more with him if he brought him
I wouldn't
back.
have thought he'd want anything to do with Disney Star Wars, even with a director he trusts. Wouldn't you rather make something that's not that?
That was the biggest surprise, that he wants to go back. You get the feeling in some of the older interviews that he did feel completely ripped off what they told him that it was going to be and what it ended up being. But I agree. You think he'd just have no interest in it whatsoever. So he's obviously got some hurt there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. After Megalopolis, I'm sure.
It does. The film does cite him as the Megalopolis star, and I thought, fucking hell, really? Is that what you're going to pick out of his entire back catalogue? Yeah, Megalopolis. But yeah, man, like with other actors, I can understand why they might be tempted to come back. Like John Boyega, he's available for Star Wars, for TV shows, for kids' birthday parties, pretty much anything at this point. Daisy Ridley, not got a huge amount going on either. So I can see why she would come back for the Rey movie. But guys like Adam Driver and Oscar Isaac, they've had successful careers before they signed up for Star Wars, and they've had successful careers afterwards. So I don't see what the draw is for them apart from just pure money, I guess. So
they will give you $500 million, $500 million to make a film. So I'm sure that helps.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that shortly. Don't worry.
The fact that they said no is a bit that blows my mind. I mean, he is a white male lead, so obviously that they can't go ahead with that. But like, out of every character, he's the only one that I think would get some excitement or some interest out of everyone, just to even see what they did with it. And that they said no just blows my mind. We always get this proof that they have no idea what to do with Disney, with Star Wars, and this is just more proof, probably the biggest proof we've had, that they've got this story together. They've approached them. They even said they didn't want to spend too much money. They wanted to keep it a bit, more reasonable in the cost, and they still said no. It's just blows my mind.
Well, and the fact that they're doing some kind of faux quality control, like, it wouldn't make sense with the story. Like, are you serious, you guys?
They said yes, Acolyte.
Yeah, that's real rich. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, they have worked really hard to kill off every main character that pretty much ever existed. And I mean, why not bring back Ben? I mean, they've done every other thing under the sun, and at least he'd be a main character. And a good storyteller can kind of pull off most anything, but I think that kind of kills Disney as the option for that good storytelling. I just don't see that possible.
What and I'm going to do, like, this is Erin, you'd suggested this earlier because you thought it might be interesting to see, and I do think it will be interesting. I've put a poll up in chat just to get chat's opinion here. Would you like to see a Ben Swallow movie?
If they could pull it off, if they could come up with a good story, and the fact that
I told you, Drake, you got to change
cares about it, suggested it, and Kathleen Kennedy said no, that just blows my mind.
Well, Kathleen Kennedy apparently said yes.
Yeah. This was a Disney decision. This was Bob Iger.
Wow.
I can see.
Well, she says yes to everything, though.
Yeah, exactly. In the wake of Rise of Skywalker, I can see why the senior leadership at Disney were like, no fucking more. No more movies. You're cut off. I'm cutting off your food supply. You're not getting any more money from us. You stop now. And it kind of makes sense at the time. But, man, yeah, when you see what they ultimately went with, what have we got? Like, Star Wars Starfighter and, like, Star Wars Mandalorian and fucking baby green alien thing. Like, it's not really setting the world on fire, is it?
How do you recover from that, honestly?
I did love, and you did mention that he couldn't see how he could be alive, and it just shows Bob Iger's definitely not watching any of this crap because, and quick plug, got a video coming out on this later today, but death in Star Wars means absolutely nothing now. So, like, and out of everyone, all we saw him do was lay down. They didn't even do anything with the body, as far as I remember. Like, bringing him back would have been the easiest thing out of all of them.
He didn't even like die in the normal sense. He just kind of like gave up and like.
Yeah, we don't even know what really happened to him, so I don't think bringing him back would have been a problem.
They got that stupid world between worlds thing. They could use that whatever they want. Like,
if we could bring a space whale into it somehow, like, yeah, we're laughing, man.
Space whale vomits up Kylo Ren, and then you get him back.
I think back in the day, MauLer, I think it was your review when you pointed out that technically Kylo's last words were "ugh," where he gets like knocked off that. Like,
yeah, he says "ow." Yeah, that's what you want to go out on.
Ow, what a classy way to go.
Oh man, it's crazy that they said no to this. Like, not that we need it, but the things they've said yes to, and the reason they've given is just perfect. It's just perfect.
Well, I think the other one that recently got rumored mentioned about David Fincher offering to make a Star Wars movie under the idea that he gets final cut, and they denied him. I would just be like, dude, if he's asking, just give it to him. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? He's like, he would give Star Wars some prestige, at least. Like, they could just They could just drain him for anything he's worth in terms of like a creative. Why? How are they like a stupid parasite? You know what I mean? It's like, why don't you just do it properly? If someone like him says, "Yeah, I'll make a movie for you," you should be like, "Yeah, fuck it." Like this, whatever.
And it's always like, over Final Cut. Like, so they think they can do it better. That's what they're thinking. Even with someone like him, they're like, no, you can have Final Cut because we know better. With the history they've got and what they've done, they still think they know better.
Yeah, it's wild. And like this isn't the finely tuned machine that Marvel used to be, where like the studio essentially can run productions and like they've got the formula down to a T and they can just churn out hit after hit. Like that was never the case with Disney Star Wars. They stumbled from like success to, divisive, auteur-driven nonsense to like absolute disasters, and like had no clue what they were doing in between. And then just fell ass backwards into making TV shows that no one cares about anymore. They never had that studio pipeline of like making good movies that were reliable box office hits. And
they keep doing things to lose more and more people, because now all the people that love the sequels are pissed off that they're not getting this film. So it's like they cannot make a decision that makes anyone happy.
This is the thing, because like this is designed to appeal to like the YA audience that are just fans of Reylo, right? They just want to ship for them, and like this is bringing Kylo back, and like he gets, I'm sure, a beautiful redemption arc, and then him and Rey end up getting together and just getting it on.
The little locket that he looked in, and there was a picture of Rey in there. They would have gone there.
That's a love story. But seriously, the problem is they just don't care about what the fans think. They don't understand the fans. They don't care. They think they know better. And this has been their problem from the start. And that's why we keep getting all of these failures after failures. And the reason the first two films actually did okay under Disney was because there was so much anticipation. We were waiting and there was potential, but they didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, the anticipation amongst the fans was white hot after the trailers for the Force Awakens leaked. And to be fair, the trailers did a good job of pumping up the nostalgia, pumping up the hype and anticipation. It was a perfect storm. And so compared to the sort of stodgy, slow-paced prequels in a lot of ways, like this just seemed like a breath of fresh air. And it was like, oh, wow, Star Wars is saved. Obviously it went downhill from there, but they got off to a strong start just because of that. And they've had that gap of 10 years between movies, which definitely increased the anticipation. They've not had that gap now. They've definitely had a gap between movies, but they've still had all the TV shows that have come out that have just done more harm than good in terms of the Star Wars brand. And so when you come out with something now like The Mandalorian and Grogu, no one's going to be excited for it, because we don't feel like we've missed out on anything. If anything, like we wish we'd missed out on more.
And it doesn't even feel like a return to the big screen. It just feels like a TV show. It's like if they did a Happy Days movie or something. It just it doesn't feel like Star Wars is going back to the cinema. It just feels like
not at all.
Wars going on the big screen.
It's
I mean, if you're sorry,
something I've seen people talking about is like at least with the sequels, there are visuals, there is cinematography in the movies. We go, that's a good shot, fine. Yeah, that looks pretty clean. I like the composition there, sure. Like, like when Luke's walking through the blown open thing, it's like a huge gap and there's fire all around. It's like, yeah, it looks cool. And it's supposed to be like representative of him, escaping his depressing blah, 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 blah. We could go into how awful the meaning all of it is, but like I said,
I think giving it more meaning than they gave it.
Well, Mandalorian and Grogu trailer, the cinematography looks fucking dreadful. It's like, oh shit, they don't even have that anymore. It's like, it's all gone.
As Robot had pointed out, it just feels like a slightly upscaled version of the TV show. Like visually, there was nothing there that made me think, oh wow, this is epic. And
do you remember first season looked good of Mandalorian? Looked good.
I mean,
second season was wonky. Third season was like, whoa.
Did they use the volume in season 1?
I think they did from the start, didn't they?
I could have sworn season 2 was where they first started using it. I could be wrong though.
I think that the practical sets were more in use in the first season, and more and more and more they started using AI and volume sets and more CGI to fill things out to make things cheaper. And while, yay, it works to a degree, no, it doesn't work out well most of the time.
Yeah. I just remember it being super like inconsistent in terms of the VFX. Like there was some of it which was fine, like the big spaceship chase scenes and stuff. Like that looks nice. Other bits like what's that droid called that like they end up like he destroys early on and then it gets repaired and then it comes back to help him later on.
Oh, IG-11.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, like the animation for that was like super like jerky and old fashioned. And I don't know if that's what they were going for or if it was just like, we don't really.
I think it was, but I guess
yeah,
it's not like super consistent. It's just that it did decrease. Like season 3 of Mandalorian is ugly as fuck.
Yeah, is that where they just stopped caring? Or
they stopped caring in every way, shape, and form. You remember why you even had the Jack Black Lizo episode? That's all you need to say for someone to be like, "Excuse me."
Is that it? Is that it? Is that rock bottom for Star Wars? That moment?
They can always dig. They always find ways to dig.
I mean, the Acolyte, they dug pretty deep with that one.
They did. Too greedily and too deep.
There's the bottom of the pit that hurts, like what they did to Luke Skywalker, and then there's Lizo. That's just the bottom of the pit for humor. just mind blown of how stupid it's got.
Yeah,
I think that was probably the turning point as well for me with Jack Black, where I just realized, like, man, there's not much this dude won't sell out for, is there? Like,
oh yeah,
I had the same feeling watching that. Yeah, you're like, he'll turn on the Jack Black show for any amount of money.
Yeah. Yeah, when you guys were talking actually about what these movies made and what they cost, there's some interesting filings that came out as a result of a Forbes article, which was extremely long, but the gist of it was summarized in this little table here that gives us like the breakdown of what each of the Disney Star Wars movies cost, the tax rebates that they got because they were mostly filmed in the UK, as I believe, which is great in some ways because they get a lot of their money back in terms of tax rebates from the government, but they also have to declare everything that they spent, so they can't do your typical Hollywood accounting. They have to do the correct British accounting, and this is what we got here, right? So we can see from this is wild. Force Awakens sitting at 639 million. With a tax rebate of 103, so that's great, but it's still 535 million. But it's fine because they did make 2 billion at the box office. So
yeah,
just drinking. Help me out. How is this not completely blackpilling for all the people who are like, "No, I trust Hollywood on everything they say about the budgets. I trust them completely."
It can, yeah. What you get in terms of like what the studios officially divulge and the actual reality is so wildly different. It's not even funny. It's just tragic, and that's, I don't know, man. Like, you just think, how does it take $600 million to make a movie, even one that's VFX heavy? How can it possibly cost that much? You didn't spend it on the actors, that's for sure. Like Force Awakens, like pretty much everyone in it was unknown. Yeah, okay, Harrison Ford would have cost a fair bit, but like that's the only one, really. It's not like fucking Carrie Fisher was doing much at that point. And all the others were just young, up-and-coming actors.
These are all
over half. Like, I don't think any of us can get our heads around spending that amount of money in that amount of time, like where it's going. Like, to actually, I want a documentary on this. I want to see where the money's going in real time.
Imagine the catering, man. It must have been incredible.
Best of the best. For reference, you could have made 42.5 Godzilla minus ones for the cost of The Force Awakens.
Well, yeah, that would probably be better. Yeah, I know.
These are all the net spending amounts without the marketing included too, though, right?
Yes,
those first three I remember had a lot of marketing, but like you couldn't go anywhere without seeing advertising for those first three movies on that list.
Yes, and so you have to assume the marketing was at least another 50% of what the production budget was, if not more in some cases. But yeah, even then. So what have we got here?
But that causes a lot of problems when you start seeing more of them starting to lose money. When you start putting in the budgeting, like that puts Rise of Skywalker into the red or the black or however it was.
Well, yeah, because even like, this is marginal at best, right? Like you've got a return on investment of just under 10%. So it cost close to 600 million to make. They got 100 million tax credit, so it's still about close to 500 million net spend. When you factor in like they only get 50% of the box office, they made a profit of like 50 million. Now, I'm sorry, right? If I had invested almost 600 million on a total gamble and I got 50 million back, I would not be a happy man. You'd be better just putting that in a high interest savings account. You get more from it.
I'm not an accounting expert by any means. So if there's an accounting expert in the chat, or if one of you guys know about this, definitely let me know. But I am curious because when you have expenses, say on one of the first earlier movies, and you build these sets out that you can use multiple times over different movies, do you think that they're playing like shift the money around business, where they're like taking some of the costs or overrides that they've had in an earlier movie and kind of pushing them into the future into some of these other films, which is driving up some of the costs? I mean, I don't understand, looking at this, why some of those later films are double the cost to make and not better. They're worse. I don't know where the money went. It just doesn't make sense.
It's funny, the amount of people in chat who are just like, dude, it's a fucking money laundering scam.
Yeah.
Just accept it. It's like,
stop trying to work it out.
it's not that deep. Like, yeah, they're just.
This is why I love your channel. You guys.
I just say, by the way, Alien comes to Earth and learns about the history of Earth up to 2012, where Disney buy Star Wars, and then they say the first movie's coming out in 2015. You say to the alien, with everything you know, how many years do you think they'll take to make Star Wars unprofitable? They'd be like, I don't know, 10, maybe 15. You're like 3. Yeah.
That's always ahead of the curve. I mean, the most damning one is obviously Solo, where you've got like a total cost of 365 million, ended up losing 100 million for the studio, which, it's not a great movie. I would put a lot of the blame, though, on the failure of the actual mainline trilogy, contributing to like the complete lack of interest in Solo, because this came out right on the heels of Last Jedi, didn't it?
I think it was a misunderstanding as well, though. Like, as people asked at the time, was anyone looking for a Han Solo origin story? That was just like, not really.
Especially when he's meant to be younger, and he looks about a year younger than Harrison.
Well, and they have the
do
all the cringy things. Like, do you ever wonder how he got his iconic gun and his iconic name, and his iconic? And you're just like, can you calm down, sit down, please?
Yeah, stop trying to fill in all the gaps. The gaps are what are making it interesting. God, but
the filling of the gaps is a weird phenomenon that's going on at the moment, and the new fans seem to love it. They want answers to everything, and like you said, it's the gaps that make it interesting. It's the not knowing the whole universe and answers to everything. Right. That's what your imagination goes into, especially when you're a kid, and they want to fill all that in. It's a weird move.
It's all predicated on the realization that generations that are up and coming now have no imagination because they've never had to use it. Because like they live in a world of constant stimulus, like where they don't really like, they've got like the best possible graphics you can get in video games. They've got movies with like all the visual effects under the sun. They've got constant stimulation from like TikTok, from Instagram, from like a million different social media platforms. They don't have to use imagination anymore because it's all laid out in front of them, and anything they can conceive to look for, it's all there. And so it makes sense that like they don't value the ability to have headcanon and to fill in those gaps themselves because they don't have the ability to do it. They've never lived in a world where that was even required. So I can see why this appeals to them, but for anyone else, like anyone who's, I don't know, probably over 25, it's horrifying because one, you don't want it, and two, you're seeing these franchises that you enjoyed the mystery of and the characters that you enjoyed their mystique just get completely strip mined. That's all they do. They strip mine anything that's got like a tiny bit of material they can exploit, and then they just mine it out and then move on to the next thing. It is wild what they do, but like that seems to be their business strategy now.
Yeah.
And Erin, I think you're right, Erin. Looking at the money, there's no way the Rise of Skywalker was like what twice more than. They must be moving money from those other films to the final film.
They have to be moving money. I mean, I've seen it happen in other things. So it's just, I just have this gut feeling they're moving money around to make certain things more profitable, thinking that they can push off those expenses and, adjust the balance sheets as they go. But you know what? Maybe they should just think about the fucking story a little more and just write the story. Like,
I think we're probably all in agreement here that, like, okay, you expect a certain level of like action and stuff with a Star Wars movie, but we would probably value $100 million Star Wars movie that had superb writing over this popcorn garbage that's just empty nonsense.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine going to a movie studio and then them saying like, "Oh, so Drinker, like, what do you reckon it's going to take to make a good Star Wars movie? You've got your script ready to go. Cool. About 600 million should do the trick."
Yeah, it only takes 100 to do the thing.
Look on
security. Like, get this guy out of here.
You have that look on your face, like, "Am I getting away with this?"
To be absolutely clear here, Drinker just rounded down an additional 40 million. Like, that was just casually. It was I don't need to include the 40 million.
Yeah, like that beachfront condo in Hawaii is not going to pay for itself, man. Like, what can I say?
I mean, honestly, as a fan, like an original fan who saw Star Wars in the theater when it was first out, I get appalled when I think of like just the downward trajectory. I remember being a kid and living near Skywalker Ranch and running into George Lucas every once in a while and cutting out little articles in the newspaper about Star Wars. And now I look at what's happened and I just feel sick at how it's evolved or devolved over time. It's just really depressing. And I get angry when I think about what they've done and why they've done it. And it's not serving anyone.
Erin, did you just say you saw the original film in cinema?
Yeah. I'm really fucking old, guys.
The elixir of life that you've got somewhere that's
I need some of that
from aging. Could you share some of that, please?
Yeah,
you're doing quite well there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But on that subject, when you were talking about George there, hasn't he come out recently and said that he's now just accepted, like, Star Wars is kind of fucked. I'm just moving on from it.
Didn't he actually say, "I've got a life"?
I mean, I got to respect that in some ways. It's like, God, there must be part of him that regrets that sale, though. All those billions of dollars, like, how much can you really spend?
I saw him say too about the museum he's doing. He's going to have Star Wars stuff, but he only put it in because he didn't want to get sick of people asking him where the Star Wars stuff was.
He made one room, robot head.
He's like, "It's over there. Just go look at it, then look at the good stuff."
There's a room for it in the center. There needs to be a huge Jar Jar statue. That, like,
oh please, make it happen
and track whoever's closest to it, like with AI or some shit, and talk to him.
He should just troll everyone and do that, because he always didn't he say it was his favorite character. He should just like really shove it in everyone's faces.
He was certain it was gonna work, Jar Jar. He just needed to get it working, man. And I always love remembering that Jar Jar is responsible for Palpatine's rise. He gave him the emergency powers.
Yes, and he regretted nothing as well. Asshole.
I mean, he should have. Once the war was over and everything went back to normal, we should have been like, Jar Jar needs to be put on trial for war crimes.
Yeah.
How could you?
I mean, people talk about like, if Darth Vader had survived the events of Return of the Jedi, he would 100% had to like spend his life in jail for what he'd done. Jar Jar should have been right next to him. They could have had amazing conversations.
I mean, they were friends, they knew each other well. Robot Chicken has a bunch of jokes about that, right? The ghost of Jar Jar haunts Anakin or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is good.
I was going to say as well, could we do a few super chats just before we carry on? Just because they're piling up quite rapidly here, so I want to try and not fall too far behind with them. The first one here. This is a challenge, actually. MauLer and Drinker, do your best at reciting famous Gandalf lines in a Sean Connery voice. Unfortunately, last time I asked MauLer, he was too tired, and I hope he's more energetic now. By tired, I was like fucking drunk.
Why not both? Like, why? Don't have to do it like that. It's fine.
We got to do Gandalf lines in a Sean Connery voice. Well, keep it secret, keep it safe. MauLer, do one.
All we have to do is decide what to do with the time that's given to us.
It's a Balrog, a demon of the ancient world. The
He turned
force
down the
beyond
role,
any
didn't he?
of you. What's that?
Didn't he actually turn down the role?
Yeah.
He did. He did, in fact, turn down the role. Yeah.
You love to see some of those lines coming out of that face.
I
think it'd be a
I
different.
can't picture Sean Connery because I love him as an actor, but holy fuck, I cannot picture him as Gandalf.
He doesn't like to put a lot of effort in. Like there's sort of it's a couple of steps from who he really is in every role. So especially as he gets older.
I think the whole world would agree that McKellen is the better, and he would have just been better. But I think it would have been charming to see Sean Connery try it. You know, I would have seen it would be an alternate universe thing to see.
We talked about this before, didn't he? Because he turned down the role of the architect in The Matrix because he didn't understand the movie. It sounded like nonsense to him. He turned down obviously Gandalf in Lord of the Rings because he didn't understand the material. And he was like, fuck, I need to take something. So he took The League of Gentlemen.
Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Extraordinary Gentlemen, sorry. Yeah.
It literally made him retire.
I'm retired. I don't even know what to choose anymore. I don't know what's going on. These kids.
You know, there's someone watching the show right now that's going to go to Sora and
I was going to say,
yeah. Sean Connery with Gandalf.
Yeah.
What's the next one? Blankface says, at the time of writing this super chat, Metal Commander is 77 plushies away from being forced to play Forspoken. So let's all come together, buy a little Muto, and make the Germans suffer. Well, as a Brit, I'm always in favor of making Germans suffer. So yeah, get it. Make it happen. 77 plushies to go.
77 away.
I need to order one myself, actually. Yeah. He actually posted he posted a pic recently from the gym. We were talking about like his journey that he's been on to becoming absolutely swole. He's doing great. Really cool to see.
Indeed.
The other, what's this next one? Blankface. Both. Oh, actually. Yeah, so this is a follow-on from his original tweet. He says, both movies will have elements I imagine you'd love. A distinct, beautiful aesthetic, a fleshed-out fantastical world, developed and complex characters and action. Take it from me, watch the movie that will influence the future of animation.
It's about Nizar 2, is it?
Where is the first part of this? I'm not
if it's for Nizar 2, I really think he's right. Like, that's the most gorgeous animated movie I've seen in... I don't even know how long.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. For some reason, the other ones are all showing up, but this one isn't. So, yeah, it says, hi, Drinker, I have a 2-film recommendation, Nisa 1 and Nisa 2. Nisa has gained popularity this year for becoming the highest-grossing movie of the year and the all-time highest-grossing animated movie.
Wow.
That is wild.
Yeah.
The first one's on Tubi, too, for anyone who's got a Tubi account in North America. I've been meaning to watch it. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's beautiful, beautiful, and it's a good story. Like they really know how to. What they did with that show is they gave you a really good story, and they knew how to make the spectacle that CGI, that AI, that animated spectacle support the story, which is something that a lot of movies don't do necessarily right now.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be nice, so.
I will need to give that a watch. Stephen Bobo says, Drinker and MauLer, have you seen the results of the death battle, the YouTube video between Buffy and Blade? I just want to know your guys' opinions on it.
I did watch it. It's kind of crazy. They delve into the comics of Blade and Buffy, which Blade's in a lot of comics, as you guys probably imagine. Did you know that Buffy's in more?
What?
Not really, no.
She like outclasses him significantly. I think she's got like 100 more comics than he does. And the fight became pointless borderline when they pointed out she has a weapon that can cut through dimensions.
When I saw that's a pretty strong weapon.
I haven't read the comics. I was like, so she's gonna win now, I guess. Even though really she should probably lose. Like if you put TV show Buffy against like the movies Blade will win.
I would think so, yeah. He's pretty But
epic. They did a comprehensive look at all of the things they've done across all of their media, and they concluded Buffy would win. Which
isn't Buffy human though?
Well, she's super strong, and he's super strong. So
he's a half vampire, though.
Yeah, but I mean, she's killed a lot of vampires.
He's the Daywalker. He's the Daywalker.
Like I said, if it's ridiculous when they get into the comics, you just go watch the videos. The stuff they pull out of what Buffy's done in the comics, I was like, what the fuck? I haven't heard of any of this crazy shit.
She punched through a planet one time when she got really angry.
Yeah.
What's this one? Jordan Ward says, Drinker, check out the new film I Swear, the true story of a Scottish legend, John Davidson, who suffers from Tourette's syndrome. Easily one of the best films of the year. It was hilarious and devastating. Yeah,
my favorite problem Tourette's. Watching Tourette's videos is amazing.
Yeah. I've seen the trailers for it. Like, the actor is great. Like, he's apart from the fact that he was lumbered with being in Rings of Power, he's actually really good at what he does.
He was Ned Stark. I remember.
Yeah. Remember Ned Stark? Let's keep it positive. But yeah, I definitely plan to watch and review that one. I just haven't got around to it yet. But it does look good. Here's the question. Hassan the dog abuser versus Boogie the cancer liar. Who is the worst between them? Other streamers suck up to Hassan like a cult or out of fear. Why?
Oh, that's easy. It's clout, like 100%. He's a king of Twitch, so you want to, benefit. But they've been turning on him. I don't know if you see the Ludwig guy who doesn't have opinions ever finally said something. It was crazy.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's the way they've been just blatantly lying. Like, there is no collar. Don't believe your lying eyes.
Oh, it's so fucking dumb, dude. The story's changed like 8 times.
Dog abuse has got to be worse than fake cancer, doesn't it?
I was going to say, because like Boogie with the cancer thing is just like fucking over his own reputation, but like actually harming another creature, like that's next level. So I mean, Hassan is worse.
I'll be honest, I think Hassan wins without the dog abuse too. He's just done way more damage to the world than Boogie ever could. Like, let's be honest.
But there's so much more of Boogie.
And that's true. The whole world thinks Boogie is a pathetic, awful, hollow human being with no heart, soul, or spirit. So it's like, whatever. But Hassan like actually tricks a shit ton of people into thinking like he's a worthwhile thought leader. So yeah, Hassan's worse.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Blackface joins as a new member, so welcome aboard, sir. Also, what's this? Hail gang, there's been a movie. Sorry, has there been a movie where the soundtrack or the song made for the film was better than the movie itself? For me, it was Luke Combs in Twisters.
Tron Legacy? Tron Ares?
The Queen of the Damned soundtrack is way better than the actual movie is.
Fair. Fucking Queen from Highlander? Like, does that count?
Even Flash Gordon. I'm not a big Flash Gordon fan.
Ooh, that movie is pretty epic, though. It's worth it for Brian Blessed alone.
Can I go back in time and say American Graffiti?
What's that, sorry?
Ooh.
Can I go back in time and say American Graffiti? I was just reviewing it. Someone asked me to review it, so I was just rewatching it. And I was like, oh my God, every song in this movie is like an A-list song now. It was a great soundtrack.
Nice. And this from Chucksenhausen. Cheers, Drinker. I just wanted to say thanks for all the likes on my comments, like the one for one battle after another. I thought it would make you laugh. Yeah, it always does, man. So I appreciate it. Thanks, buddy. I'll do more super chats later, but I don't want to get too hung up on them right now. What was the other thing I was going to look at? Oh, yes. We were talking about this just before we went live. So I don't know how many of you guys are fans of the Predator franchise. I know a couple of you here are, but they produced like a ranking based on their Rotten Tomatoes scores, and it is wild, man, what we have here. So according to Rotten Tomatoes, Predator Killer of Killers, the animated anthology series, is the best Predator product that was ever made at 98%.
I was about to say, saying it's the best isn't even as shocking as the fact that it got 98. It's like, what the fuck?
This is borderline perfect, like cinematic perfection right there. Prey is close behind at 94% because ain't nobody going to criticize, no professional movie critic is going to criticize a movie that's got a Native American female lead. It's just, they won't touch it. So that's one of the best Predator movies ever made. In fact, it is technically the best Predator live action movie ever made. And the actual Predator movie, the original with Arnold Schwarzenegger, sitting down at a lowly 80%.
Which is probably a fair enough score, 80%. Like when you look at it compared to
that's kind of what I was getting at. If Predator had 98, we might be like 98 is maybe. But then again, I kind of adore that movie, so maybe I'd be okay with 98. But
I would give it 112% personally.
My biggest problem is no Predator 2.
Yeah,
that's not even on the
Predator
list.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, Predator. Like, honestly, if I was to rank the Predator movies, like the first Predator would obviously be at the top. Predator 2 would be like, it's a fair way behind, but it would still be in number 2 spot.
It's a lot of fun.
And then Predators would probably be in number 3.
Yeah.
And then Prey would be at 4. And then Killer of Killers would probably be fairly near the bottom, and the Predator would just be somewhere under the floor.
I can't fucking believe The Predator got to the top 5. That's insanity. That film is fucking terrible.
The idea that autism would save the world is a pretty interesting story concept. So I'll give the Predator.
I mean, it's different. I'll say that much.
It sure is.
I just gotta say their titling of the last 3 on this list, it's really inventive. I mean, I'm really blown away by their ability to come up with some great titles there.
It's still definitely not confusing at all. To imagine trying to explain this to someone like in a pub or something when you've had a few beers, and it's like, so Predator, amazing. Predators, it's not so good, and the Predator, fucking garbage, man. Like what?
And then you're like, which one's the sequel? You go Predator 2. It's like, which one was the one out of the ones you just said? Which one was Predator 2? And you're like, no, Predator 2 is a different thing.
Different thing.
What?
Yeah, it's a strange one. I just want to say, like, fuck off Rotten Tomatoes. Like, this sucks, man. Like, your entire rating system is
Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's 100% partisan as well. Like, we know the movies that will get like 100% across the boards. You know, the ones that like either ideologically or just like they promote current thing. Yeah, that nobody's gonna have the balls to criticize them. Or they do like really shady stuff where it's like a borderline like positive review where it's like they're actually super critical of loads of things, but they say it's still a fresh review just so they can boost the rating a little bit.
Shouldn't Predator 2 then be higher on that list because the lead is a black man? Like
it should be really.
It really should be on there.
But he is a man at the end of the day, and that does bring it down quite a bit.
Yeah.
And that movie does promote sexist stereotypes somehow. I think there's a naked woman at one point. I remember that part.
That's true, and it did portray black people as pretty violent in the future as well. So I'm sure that's not giving it any points.
I love King Willie's Jamaican voodoo posse, man. They were fucking awesome. Shit happens. Yeah, it's just, man, this just gives me, like, this black pills me so much on, like, the Predator franchise because I know they're going to make a sequel to Predator Killer of Killers, and they're also going to make a sequel to Prey, and we've obviously got Predator, what the fuck's that other one called?
Badlands? Or...
Badlands, yeah. So we got that coming up, and that looks like a goofy buddy movie, which nobody really asked for.
There are people who'd want to convince you that Predator and Alien, considering Alien Earth and Romulus, are in the best shape they've been, like in their entire. And it's just like, holy shit!
What?
And you know, you look at Terminator, and it's like a complete disaster. But at least it's on ice. You know, it's just. But we have to watch all of these. Alien Earth was horrendous.
Yeah.
And they get another season. Alien Romulus was really fucking bad. Like they're getting a Romulus too. Yeah, and they speculate on like the AVP movie that's coming because they're both in good health right now, these franchises, apparently.
Well, I wonder if this is playing on the fact that like a lot of like especially younger generations of viewers haven't even watched the original movies.
Dude.
I mean, look, I'm going on like I did a stream with Box Office Brawler, right? And he only recently watched Aliens because we forced him to.
Oh, yeah.
Right. But he was like, yeah, none of my friends have watched it either. Like, I think his generation just doesn't fucking watch movies like that. And so they don't even know that they're good. And so they accept the slop that comes out now because it's like they just don't know any better.
I think I told you, Drinker, I was like late to getting into more video games, but in my high school, with all the friends that were playing video games at the time, I was like, Alien, Predator, Terminator, you guys seen any of these? And they're like, no. I was like, oh my God.
The best is when, I was just going to say, when people say that came out before I was born, like that has something to do with it.
Like there's some kind of mental block there. It's like, well, I can't watch a movie that came out before I was born. That doesn't work.
There was I can't remember which studio it was, but there was an executive that came out like a couple of years, I think it was like 2023, and she was saying like basically any movie that was made before like 91 or 92, she just doesn't pay attention to. And this is a
Oh my
studio
God.
executive.
Oh,
So
Jesus.
if you're
Wow.
wondering why like the content is looking pretty like dry and ADHD fueled today, it's probably because the people that's making them are just wildly incompetent and don't even understand the medium.
I can 100% get behind that. Like it's tragic that that's
Yeah.
where the industry has gotten to, but I can see how it got to that point as well.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah, I
just
mean,
like,
it's
man.
some of the best storytelling, some of the most inventive, clever, creative storytelling came out in like the 70s and 80s and early 90s. And if you're
Yeah.
not looking at those films, you're missing some of the best cinema that was ever made. So,
And those are
I
the
don't-
movies that are why we have cinema today, in all honesty.
yes,
So, you know,
yes,
that's like saying you like horror like novels, but you haven't read any of the originals that came out during the Victorian era that
right.
influenced all of the themes you see today. It's a wild
Yeah,
statement.
well, so many of the franchises that they're still strip mining and exploiting today, they started in the 80s and 90s.
Right.
Yeah,
You know, and that's it's a tragic state of affairs that that's
I
what
mean,
they're doing. But like, you know, when was
also
it?
we're also at the point here where, like, rule of thumb, if it came out before you were born, it's probably better.
At this point, yeah.
And they've taught the audience, and I said this recently in a video, I think they that the special effects, how good they are. Like we're seeing this with Tron Ares, like all the love is sort of for how good the special, well, I don't even think they're that good, but it's like the computer power is what they love. And like, you know, they'll even have a go at the original Star Wars or anything that the effects don't stand up. That you're like, but that's not the important bit. But they've been taught that that is the important bit. It's just about if the effects look good, don't worry about the story, don't worry about the characters, don't worry about anything else. If you can go in there and just stare at that big screen and it's bright, then that's all you should worry about. And
yeah.
I don't see how they come back from it, really.
That was the big thing for a number of years there, right? Like when the first Avatar came out, like the hype was just around, oh, look at what they can do visually with a movie these days. And then that became the trend that a lot of production companies started chasing. Even you see the same thing happen with gaming. The second that graphics like reached a certain level, that everyone was just asking for, oh, we want better looking games. And now it's slowly just seeped into, oh, the game looks great, but everything else is absolute garbage kind of deal. So they're just totally outdated on what their audience and what their market is asking for now. And this
But what
is where
happened
we are
to
now.
parents? Is it because kids now all have, this is my old man rant now, is it because kids have their own TVs and computers now? Because what happened to parents making their kids watch old movies? My mum loved old movies, and I grew up watching black and white movies and, you know, war movies and, you know, The Great Escape or like, plus we only had 4 channels in Australia, but, you know, and then on the weekends they showed old movies. But why aren't parents showing their kids these movies and sort of getting
They're
into
working
it?
now. That's why.
Yeah, they're really busy. Like, there's a lot of single parent households now. They don't have time for it because I don't know, like how it was for you guys. Like, it was generally my dad who would like show me movies like Aliens or like got me into Star Trek or whatever it was back in the day. Like, dad just maybe had more time in the evenings. And
but dad was also sneaky, those movies. You know, I remember my dad trying to show me Mad Max. My mum sort of like, what are you showing him?
That's awesome.
My dad, like when he first showed me Terminator 1 when I was super young, I think I was like 7. He just told me to look away when he, you know, cuts out his eye. But I remember it wasn't even like weeks later when we rewatched it that he just didn't bother telling me to look away. He was like,
what did he tell you during the sex scene? Because that must have been that was always the awkward thing when you're watching something with your old man. It's like a sex scene came on. There was a lot of them in old movies.
That was actually really funny because a lot of the nudity stuff I was forced to look away when I was super young. But that's an example of one when my dad was like, yeah, you don't see anything. And I was like, definitely do.
Well, you guys, you know what's really interesting? Like right now, there's actually a film that's in theaters. It's the new Frankenstein movie by Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
That when you look at it, you're like, Jesus, this is the most visually beautiful live action film I've seen in a really long time. And you know, there are moments where you're like, oh, I think that wolf was CGI, but he built, like, he was like no AI. we're building these sets, we're doing practical effects, we're going old school on some of this stuff. So as much as they could do physically and with the tactile art and artistry, they did it, and it really made a difference. And you could tell, like, yeah, AI or CGI, those things really do help, and they do an impact. But when you have an artist creating a set, it's a whole different world. And if you have a chance to see that in the theaters, it's beautiful.
It's always something when something's physically there. Again, it might be my generation, and I think I don't think the kids are into this. But when it's a model or something, like they're filming with models, and it's a thing that's really there. I don't know. It's just something in your brain knows the difference, and even if it's not done that well,
If it's like, whether it's like a fucking battleship in a World War II movie or a spaceship that gets blown up in a sci-fi movie, when it's a model with pyrotechnics inside it and stuff, it just looks so much better because it's physically there, and like there's a kind of weightlessness that you get with CGI, even the best of it, that it removes you from the movie. Whereas even a model that doesn't technically look as realistic as some of the CGI that they're producing now, it immerses you so much more. It just feels like, because it's physically there. It was a prop that they blew up on set or whatever, and that's part of like the filmmaking process that you can appreciate. It's the same with action sequences. When actors are firing real guns, you see it more and more now in action scenes. They're just holding a prop gun and they'll CGI in the bullets later. And you can tell it is, because it doesn't recoil the same way a gun does. And like, it's just, there's a weightlessness to it, and there's a sterility to it that just kills your immersion in the movie. It kills the enjoyment.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. Like, I don't know whether it's a cost issue or a safety issue or just a time issue where it takes more time to set up all that stuff on set. Whatever the reason is for it, though, man, it hurts the art of filmmaking.
Are you talking about the cost? And we're just reading about $600 million.
I know.
A lot of models for $600 million.
I mean,
you
can't have a real fucking spaceship lifting off and blasting people with laser beams and stuff. But like,
give it time.
There's you balance it, obviously.
Bring it back to Star Wars. There is one documentary on Disney Plus that I actually really, really loved watching, and it was the documentary about the early days at ILM, building the Millennium Falcon, building the Death Star, all of the stuff that the guys had to do when there was no special effects house to do this stuff. And George had to like find the guys, some carpenter here, some electrician there, to like pull it all together. And it's probably one of the best documentaries I've seen in a really long time. And I just love seeing that artistry, that like hands-on artistry.
That half-built Death Star model just looks incredible. For some reason, the half-built one looks better than the built one, but
I'm telling you, man, battle damaged on any given collectible. Everyone loves the battle damaged.
Yeah.
I saw there was a great I think it was the Mythbusters guys. They went to like the ILM offices where they had like mock-ups of the Starship Enterprise from the old Star Trek movies, where it had been hit by phaser blasts and stuff, and the hull was all scorched and stuff. But like they even, like, the modelers had put in details like little panels that they tried to use to patch up the damage. And I just thought, God damn, isn't that cool? Like, someone took the time to think, what would the crew do in a situation like this to try and do like, temporary repairs to like seal up breaches in the hull and stuff. And it's all there on the model, this big, like, 6 foot wide thing that they've mocked up. And it's been preserved all this time. Like, that is just the kind of that's the detail and the thought that you don't really get with movie making now.
Adam from Mythbusters built some of the models for the prequels. That was his job.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. He built. I know all the ones in the water. That whole city. Don't ask me to name what it was called, but where Obi-Wan goes. I know he worked on those ones, but he worked on a lot of them. That was his job before moving on to Mythbusters. That's why he's so into it and so has all those connections and gets to see and play with all that stuff.
That's awesome.
I think that would be a great job to have within the industry. It's like, hey, make me a spaceship and then do a bunch of battle damage and shit on it. Like, that's pretty fun.
He made an alien suit, the suit in the original Alien. He made his own version, but he went to look at the original to see how to copy it, and all the little inscriptions and things you don't even pick up on in the movie. There's like another language written around where the glass is and that, and he was showing.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah, all those details, like you said, someone thought enough to go do that. And when you're doing it digitally, you're not doing all that. You're worrying about shadows and, you know, if it looks realistic, and you're not adding all those little touches.
Let me do a couple of super chats that have come in. There's been a few biggies that have come in while we've been talking here. This one's great, actually. I saw this on the news. Any thoughts on the recent Louvre heist? How long until we see a film? The fucking crown of France was literally broken and thrown into a gutter. All we need is some guy to come along and pick it up with his sword, and we've got the next fucking Napoleon on the go. Love it.
Didn't you have last week off? There was no show last week.
I can't talk about that, okay?
Wait a minute.
Vacation.
Seriously, where were you during those 8 minutes?
I mean, what was security doing?
On his head. Just like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, imagine if you're the chief of security at the Louvre. Like, this is literally the most important job of your career, and you fumble it this badly. Yeah, a bunch of people broke in and stole the French crown jewels, effectively.
It's everything.
I love that they did it with a big long ladder, like it was a cartoon, like it was old school robbery.
Sounds like the Johnny English fucking shit, doesn't it? In the first movie, where it's just
what if they fucking got to the Mona Lisa and shredded it or eaten it or something? Like,
eaten it.
Did you just say eaten it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Then you gain Mona Lisa's power, so you have to.
I mean, history would remember your name, like the man who ate the Mona Lisa. Like, that's pretty epic. But yeah,
his name was Mr. Mona Lisa.
They're all speculating on what to do with the Mona Lisa. Drink is the one of the team that says, "Let's eat it." They all look at him like, "What?
Nope, the money?
What is wrong with you? Lots of things.
So much.
Yeah. Shadowhawk says, "Hail Drinker, MauLer, and panel. This is for $200, so it's important. Just recently came into some money, decided to share the wealth." Well, thank you. Question for this week is simple: favorite Western animated movie and favorite anime movie.
Rango.
Rango.
Who's seen Rango?
No.
Oh. I like Rango.
So go away.
Isn't Rango 3D animated though?
Oh, did they say specifically 2D?
I figure animated means like 2D instead of
animated.
Animated means 2D. What planet are you from?
That's the assumption I've always gone through.
What?
Be silent, you spam sandwich.
Can I say Demon Slayer for anime movie? Like, I recently discovered Demon Slayer, and I am I've become like an obsessed fan about the series and the movies, and I'm like buying the manga. I'm like on board. I love Demon Slayer so much.
I wanted to watch Demon Slayer, but the only version I could find was like Italian dubbed, so I couldn't really tell what was going on. So I'm working on it though.
For anime, I'll say Princess Mononoke because that's a top 10 for me, anyways.
Yeah.
So gorgeous movie.
Yeah, it's very good. I might say Castle in the Sky. I might also say Metropolis from 2002. It's like probably one of my favorite animes of all time. As for Western animation, can I say Puss in Boots: The Last Wish? Because damn, that's a good movie.
Yeah, Wall-E for West. Sorry, I misunderstood. I thought they meant like a Western that was animated, because you don't really get that question very much.
I did
no, sorry.
I know that's what they meant too.
My
like,
brain, and then you said Rango, I was like, oh yeah, that's one. Oh yeah, it's
It's oddly specific, but yeah.
To be fair, it's a pretty good question. There aren't many like well-known animated Westerns, you know.
That's
No,
true.
there aren't. No.
I think most
But
of them
yeah,
are Bugs Bunny.
But
Yeah.
sorry, my favorite like Western animated film would be Wall-E. Yeah.
It's a damn good movie. It is good stuff.
Wall-E and Ratatouille are the best two, I think.
Well, I'm
Ratatouille's
just glad
a
I'm
good
not
movie.
the only one that thought it meant like a Western, like the Wild West.
Also, we did.
I actually don't think I seen Ratatouille. I don't think I have. You know,
Whoa,
I honestly
Oh,
don't think I've seen Ratatouille.
that's a gap for you. Go
I
get
Yeah.
know. I think maybe it was too late for me. Like I was probably grown up by the time it came out, and so I probably didn't have interest from that point of view.
it. I was grown up, therefore I wouldn't have watched Ratatouille.
Sorry.
I don't know, Drinker. I think you need a new series called Drinker Catches
What's
Up.
the Last Wish? Is that somehow like a?
That's more mature, MauLer. That deals with
whatever.
death.
You haven't even seen Ratatouille. What do you mean?
It's like that deals with fucking chefery.
Disgusting.
Bloody French people. Horrible.
True.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
But
Iron
anyway,
Giant's good too. I
Oh,
saw
that's
that
a
in chat.
great one.
is a good movie.
Yeah.
that is very good. Anyway, let me.
Someone put the Simpsons movie. Just
get
makes
this
me
here.
laugh that you'd pick that.
Please stop. They're doing another one, aren't they?
Yeah,
There's gonna be
yeah,
a second.
Jeez, beating that dead horse, they're wringing the blood out of that idea, aren't they? Like,
It's never going to stop.
No, nothing new anymore. It's always got to be part 2.
Yeah.
that's another
Someone
one.
just put in the chat like Drinker hates French movies. It's like, yeah, I like Latin, okay? I like that one. I could do French. Anyway, I'll move on from that. You guys, we've talked about Star Wars a little bit and how we're all big fans of Disney Star Wars. Obviously, is everyone here a big fan of James Gunn's DCU?
No.
Okay, so this one
That's actually a fair question because you never know. There are people who are fans of it.
Well, to be fair, I did like the Superman, and I know everybody in chat's going to be like, Erin has no taste, but there were things about it I did like. But James Gunn is driving me freaking crazy right now. He needs to just stop. He needs a Xanax. He needs to lie down. You know what I mean? Like, he needs to stop. Sorry,
he needs to stop with the James Gunnisms.
Yes.
I think it might be too late. It's a bit of a runaway train, isn't it?
It kind of seems like it might actually be too late for James Gunn and his entire DCU. So, as you've probably heard, Warner Brothers is now up for sale, basically, and it looks like it could get bought over. I think it's like Paramount and their parent corporation that are looking to buy it. Which
3 bids, yeah.
Yeah, and so if that does happen, there is a fairly good chance that James Gunn could be out as head of DCU, and that they might just do another hard reset because the entire franchise hasn't exactly distinguished itself so far. And there's a pretty telling interview that James did just a few days ago where he talked about this. I'll bring it up here and see if we can play it.
So one thing I've been really curious about is you've referenced things like Peacemaker Season 2 and Lanterns setting up different threads and arcs. How far do these arcs go? Like, do they culminate in Man of Tomorrow, or can we expect them to go further than that?
Yes, they definitely go significantly further than Man of Tomorrow.
Okay.
So now, you know, whether or not that'll be me that's able to fulfill that promise depends on a lot of things in life. But yeah.
That is a man who knows he's on borrowed time right there.
Yeah.
Look where you stopped to. Nice then.
That enthusiastic confidence we've had from him for years now is evaporated. I wonder why. I wonder if it's to do with the success of the major projects. Ooh, could it be? Dude, this clip you've shown, by the way, I saw a quote tweet that had like a lot of likes on it saying, okay, let's look at this logically. He's fully aware that his contract expires in 2027. He signed a 5-year deal. So if he gets an extension, which I believe he will, because it's going to come on the heels of Supergirl's successful release, he'll be able to complete everything. And I was like, whoa. Supergirl's successful release. That film is doomed. Like,
yeah, that is the mother of all assumptions right there. Like, it's going to be successful.
A very foolish choice for him to make, to put that as the second major film in the DCU, right? Because it's just like you need money makers at lower risk to launch your universe, not fucking Supergirl.
You like. Because they led with Creature Commandos, which no one gives a fuck about. Apparently, it was quite good, but like it's not enough to draw an audience. Superman, pretty weak, and like the box office reflected that. Peacemaker Season 2, a holdover from really the DCEU and the later stages of that. People absolutely tuned out with Season 2, and the ratings apparently cratered. Then what have we got coming up? We've got Supergirl. No one's going to give a shit. Clayface, even fewer people are going to give a shit about that. If you were going to relaunch the DCU, you had to establish Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. Those are your 3 main money makers. And you've got to get them off to a strong start. Then you do a team-up movie with those 3. But like James Gunn can't do it because James Gunn wants to do James Gunn movies because every movie that James Gunn makes has to be a fucking Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Mm-hmm.
If I may, I think just the mistake from the get-go was making this a new universe. Nobody cares about multiverse stories anymore, and DC has always excelled, especially at the box office, with just singular stories, right? Like the Dark Knight trilogy, it's all just one hero, one contained universe. The Batman, it's one contained universe. You got lucky doing a side story on television with the Penguin, but moving forward, that should just be a contained story. Superman, it should. None of this should have been a universe from the get-go. You can explore all of these characters completely separately. Like the Disney model is proof of anything. Yes, the quality issue is a big thing still, but nobody's tuning into all of the shows. The Disney Plus subscription numbers show that. The audience turnout for some of these later films also prove that. These are all characters we don't care about. It's homework. It's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
It's kind of nuts that there's just this crazy assumption that build a universe like Marvel and you get Marvel numbers. And you're like, Marvel numbers? Have you seen Marvel numbers? Like, what do you mean? It's like, oh, okay, well, you know, everyone just assumes this is true. And it's like the only successes we've seen outside of Marvel's heyday is the Monster Universe, which is batshit insane. And the continuity is just non-existent. And then I guess the Conjuring Universe, which is just the same horror movie 10 times.
Right. Like
it's the weird thing, but like they should have all the winning cards. Like DC, they have got arguably the most iconic superheroes. You know, Marvel were able to build up their heroes into like this big global brand, but like before the MCU, like the average person on the street had no fucking idea who Iron Man was,
right,
or Thor, like
let alone Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, like, never mind that, or Ant-Man, or like fucking Doctor Strange. Like none of them knew who that was. Like they probably knew who the Incredible Hulk was from the fucking old Lou Ferrigno TV shows, but like the DC has the recognizable superheroes, but it's like they've got all the best tools at their disposal, but they never found out the correct way to use them, and it was just fumble after fumble along the way.
I think they forgot how to focus in on the characters. Because they're so busy, they don't trust their writers. I think this is part of it. They don't trust the writers so much. They don't trust them to be able to tell the story about Superman or Batman, or like Vex was saying, like just tell the story about the one character and focus on that story. Do the best you can. And if you want to expand later, expand later. Just focus in. And they just don't have that kind of attention span or something. I don't know what it is, honestly.
Their problem partly is that like they've got this weird mix of standalone universes and a big interconnected cinematic universe. So they've got, or at least at one point they had like their own Batman that was part of the DCEU, but they had a separate Batman continuity with Robert Pattinson movies. You know, they had a Joker that was part of like the Suicide Squad, and he was going to be part of the DCEU, but they also had a separate Joker in the Joaquin Phoenix movies, who was also separate from the Batman movies that were going on. And so you had all of this stuff happening simultaneously, and it's like they couldn't really decide on an approach that worked for them, and it was just like anything, just put out anything that seems like it's successful, that will make money. You know, like Marvel, as much as they became formulaic as fuck and like boring and like just a conveyor belt of sludge, they at least had one persistent universe that they stuck to.
By the way, I don't know how many of you know this. Batman turns up in Creature Commandos briefly. So the problem, like among all of the other fucking problems, is that according to James Gunn's continuity of the DCU, Batman exists. He's running around. He's doing things. It's like the more movies you create where he just doesn't get involved at all, the more wacky and nonsense this universe is, which is saying something considering Superman has already made it completely untenable as a universe, considering 300 years of super beings, by the way, guys. 300 years.
Yep. Batman.
Why the hell did you do that?
Batman should be your silver bullet. Like, he is by far the coolest hero. Like, his movies should be like making bank, especially if he's part of your extended universe. But like, yeah, Superman like arguably is a little bit restrictive in terms of how you use him, and he doesn't have the coolness factor of Batman. But like, you know, James Gunn hasn't even like really fleshed out plans for how he's going to bring Batman in. And at this point, no one fucking cares anyway, because it's just going to be a goofy James Gunn version of Batman. Who wants that?
Nobody wants a goofy Batman.
I could just imagine him fighting people with a fucking like 1980s pop song playing in the background, and it's just going to be the saddest fucking thing ever.
Well,
it's like all James Gunn can do.
I actually asked that on Real BBC, and Gary and As went different directions with it. But do you think James Gunn is less suited to Superman or Batman?
Superman, way less suited. He writes anti-heroes well. He can't do a good guy like Superman well.
I agree. I think he's probably slightly better suited to Batman than Superman.
I think he is slightly better suited to Batman. At the same time, I think a lot of people pick Batman out of fear. They're like, oh God, what is he going to do to Batman? Because we've seen what he did to Superman now. It's just like clean and done. It's like, okay, that was that. But Batman could be so much worse. But it also,
I mean, hypothetically, I think he would gravitate more towards the anti-hero nature of Batman, but he couldn't do an authentic, like, grim, dark, serious Batman if he tried.
Right.
Like, it's just not in his nature. It would have to be self-deprecating. There would have to be goofy humor in there, and it would get James Gunnized into oblivion.
Yeah.
I think I would trust Zack Snyder to do a Batman movie over James Gunn, and I can't believe I'm fucking saying that.
Those words.
I honestly think I would.
Man, that's a thought.
Yeah, I know it's a thought, but like if you had to pick, honestly, like putting everything else aside, if you had to pick.
If I got Watchmen Zack Snyder making that, yes. If I got Rebel Moon Zack Snyder making it,
yeah. So Zack Snyder doesn't write it; he just directs it.
Yeah, okay. Who's writing it?
Well, I don't know.
Well, but because
for Watchmen, like
would the James Gunn version have James Gunn writing it?
I don't think James Gunn would. I don't think James Gunn would direct something he didn't write.
Well, in that case, we got to make it fair, right? If it's because Zach, then
yeah.
I don't see why James Gunn can't just let himself be the boss and hire all the right people into the right roles to do the right stories and produce the right films in ways that will make him money. And, if he needs to put a little bit of his guidance and direction on the franchise or the direction, whatever, fine. But hire the people. That's what bosses are supposed to do. Hire the people to do the job and trust them to do it. Don't stir the,
He shouldn't be.
He's a de facto studio head at this point. Really. Because he's not head of Warner Brothers, but like he's head of an entire universe of a cinematic universe of movies and TV shows and all that. And so he has to take on that role. And I don't see how that fits with what he's done up until this point. He's a singular project guy.
Yeah.
And we never got to see what he could do with Marvel, because he was going to be the guy who was kicking off the whole cosmic era of Marvel, wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, I think we can get a pretty good idea of how that would have gone, because he brought the same formula to the Suicide Squad. He brought the same formula to Creature Commander. He even brought the same formula to Superman. So he would have, and all three of the Guardians movies, as much as I do like the second one more than the other two, they're all just the same movie. So we weren't going to get anything new.
Drinker, because you were gone for a bit. Did you see the clip where he talks about directing his wife kissing other men?
I didn't see the clip. No, I him talking about it. I think I got it from her point of view, where she's like, "Yeah, I had to drink a couple of beers before I could kiss John Cena," and I just thought, "Oh yeah, one sympathizes."
We watched our real BBC. It was funny as fuck. He's like awkwardly having to talk about how I felt a little bit uncomfortable filming all of that when you just sit there like, you wrote it, you directed it,
you watched in the role
for it.
He's obviously like weighing up those two problems where it's like giving your wife work versus having her kiss another man. What do you do?
I mean, does that even make it? Who cares about hardcore dating peacemaker? You know what I mean? Like, he made that happen. He didn't have to make that happen.
I mean, the only person who even cares about hardcore at all is James Gunn. I feel like. Is there a big group of fans for hardcore? I don't really think so. She's not that interesting.
Wait a minute. I just saw this by chance. So the new TV show for It is out, right?
Oh, the Welcome to Derry thing.
Yeah. This could be a troll. However, someone has said the review embargo is up, and here's the summary. And it says the U.S. military intends to capture Pennywise and sick him on the Russians and Cubans.
Shut up.
In order to prevent the forthcoming missile crisis and win the Cold War.
I'd fucking love if that was their storyline.
To control the monster, which they barely understand, they must acquire the 13 pillars, rock shards from the cage in which it traveled to Earth millions of years ago, that have the power to contain it, a la kryptonite, and whose whereabouts have been protected by centuries by a Native American population that's acted as humanity's selfless guardians. Is no way.
This sounds awesome.
Got me interested to go check it out, though.
It's like Pennywise is going to become the Dr. Manhattan of like this universe. My God. I hope it's true. Please make it true.
I kind of really want this to be true.
How would a conversation like that even play out? Like the US government has captured Pennywise, and like they've got him in a holding cell, and they have to like negotiate with him.
So was it, while this is genuinely terrible, it does feel like the exact kind of genuinely terrible Stephen King would think of. Yeah, you can kind of see this sort of thing.
Latter day Steve. Well, actually, no, I was going to say like late 80s Stephen King when he was absolutely coked out of his mind.
Well, people are still discovering the end of it, every once in a while. They're just like, why is this in here? And it's like, nobody knows, dude.
I have read the book, and I was just as disturbed as everyone else. It's a wild ride, man. And the thing is, right, it's not just that ending scene. There's a lot of that shit throughout the story with Bev. Yeah. He goes into a lot of detail. I'll put it that way. Yeah. I don't want to see Stephen King's search history. I'll say that much.
Still, the idea of dropping a clown bomb on Russia during the Cold War, I approve, given all of the budget.
Fuck your Tsar bomb with your 50 megatons. We've got a Pennywise. We just drop him on Moscow. Like, what would he even do?
Well,
gradually terrify the populace.
Yeah, they're going to sit back and go, is he doing his thing? Or we hope so.
It's been a year. It's been a year and there are 17 children missing. We think he's doing his thing.
All the children are having sex with each other, if you want to know about it.
And then it's like, yeah, then he just goes inactive for like, what, 27 years, I think? He goes into hibernation. It's like, he'll be back, though. He'll be back at some point in the mid-2000s.
Someone in comments said, send in the clowns. That's top tier comment.
Maybe if they clone him and send multiple, you could get a few more kids killed faster. There you go.
Maybe he'll just recruit all the other like movie cinematic clowns to fight on his behalf during the 27-year sleep.
Well, as I've discovered from watching Superman, right? If you've got like an enemy that you can clone infinite numbers of to defeat him with sheer weight of numbers, you just clone one and just hope that he can somehow best him by you shouting orders at him.
Shouting the orders.
Yeah, the world's best chess player giving him orders. There you go.
Punch him.
The more time, because we often talk about this, like people ask me, what movies have you changed your opinion on since you've done the review? And it like there is a definite like almost like a video that you could make of that, like going through some of your old reviews and saying like, well, since then I've changed my opinion this way, that way, or whatever. Like, man, Superman's just gone down and down in my estimation in the weeks and months since it came out. That is rough, that film.
I think it's going to go down and down for everyone, honestly. It's a movie, I think, that really benefited from everyone being ready for a Superman movie. Everyone was like, let's do this. Yes, it would be fun to have a Superman, a hopeful paragon who makes the world a better place without any complication. And this was good enough. But as time goes on, you start to realize, like, man, that was not good enough.
What do you make of James Gunn, by the way, posting up all these pictures on Instagram of like Deathstroke and like Henry Cavill as Superman?
You mean Zack Snyder?
Oh, sorry, yeah, Zack Snyder.
Yeah, sorry. Well, I mean, there's a lot of interpretations as to what he's up to. I like to think he's doing a little trolling. I don't know.
Is it something bigger? Like
Maybe he's looking for a job now that WB is up
That-
for
Yeah.
sale again.
yeah,
That would be an incredible plot twist if they
was
pushed out James
so-
Gunn and
oh, God, it'd be
rehired Zack
funny.
Snyder. That
Can
would be
you
so funny.
imagine his fans? They're nuts as
They
it
would
is.
explode.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
As much as I think artistically it would be a fucking disaster for the human race, I also just like would be so happy for all the Snyder bros out there. Like, you know what? It's probably made your
Yeah, you
decade.
know,
It's like go
if
for
they
it.
want to finish up his Justice League trilogy, let's do it. I mean,
Fucking bringing Ben Affleck back, like he's old and skinny and alcoholic. And stuff. Like
it's okay.
Ben,
We can
we need you
CG
to
all
play
of it.
Batman one more time.
We can CG all of it, Drinker. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Well, you know what they do with their PR team is they test the waters with these things. They like pump out a bunch of
They do.
photos of this person in that role and that person in this role just to see how the fans react. And then they use that reaction as a way to like pitch ideas or to say, see, this
Right.
guy really would be really good, or we should go back to. You know, that's all they're doing. It's all a bunch of BS.
But I don't know. Part of me just the chaos in me just wants to see Zack Snyder turned loose on DC again. To see what further damage can this man inflict.
Hey, if it stops any more Rebel Moon, though, I don't think we're getting any more. I'm all for
I
it.
don't think we're going to get more of
Yeah,
Rebel Moon.
it's
No.
so dead. Nobody
I
cares.
don't think I could handle another Rebel Moon. I might jump off a building. I just can't handle that. That's like the worst. The worst.
Did anyone watch the uncut? I planned to, but I just could not turn it on again. I could not go through it again.
No.
Gary wanted me to for FNT. I got through the first one and then I gave up. I just couldn't do it. It was so much Rebel Moon.
No.
It was so much Zack Snyder.
Yeah. Dude, that movie had a scene so bad, Drinker made a video just for it.
Nice.
How did you pick just one?
Oh God, you'll know the scene if I point out the
universe music, the orchestra.
Ah, yes, that was a high.
with it's the bags over their heads. So stupid.
Dude, kill her.
Oh God, how did anyone on that set like get the scene done with a straight face? Like I know sometimes actors have to say shit lines and stuff, but man. There must have been someone who put their hand up and said, Zach, are you sure? Are you sure, man? This is what you want?
Who was the comedian that came out of Joker 2 and he was saying, he's in the movie and he was saying they were all sitting there going, what the fuck's going on? And like, we're laughing to each other. He was one of the security guards.
Oh, man.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I forget his
I can't
name.
think of his name. He's been on Joe Rogan and that. And he was saying, you know, they'd hear singing from the next room, be looking at each other, like laughing and saying, this is going to be a bomb. I want some Zack Snyder actors to come out and tell us about some of those scenes and what they were thinking at the time.
I'd love it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think that these people surround themselves with people who are afraid or whatever to tell them the truth. Like, hey, De Niro, don't do this. Or, hey, Snyder, don't do that. It's like, if you want to make a good product, you need to trust the people that you're hiring. And you need to enable them to say the things that need to be said.
Well, I think there's definitely like a theme throughout Hollywood of you need limitations on you as a filmmaker, as a creative, and like from a business perspective as well. There needs to be someone there who like calls you out on your bullshit and challenges you and said like, you know, either you can't do this or are you sure this is the best way to do this? That's why it spawns resourcefulness and creativity and like finding interesting new solutions to problems.
Right.
And the lack of that leads to what you get with like, say, George Lucas with the prequels, where there was just no one around anymore to tell him like, no, this is stupid. This dialogue you've written is dog shit or whatever. Make it better. He just had absolute control. And so everyone just did what he said. And you ended up with like really like a great concept wasted by like terrible writing. You get it with guys like Taika Waititi when he did Thor Ragnarok, written by someone else. He was just there to implement the script. Okay, turned out a pretty good movie. Then he did Love and Thunder. He was given complete control over everything, and he just absolutely lost his mind. And you end up with
Patty
a terrible
Jenkins.
movie. Yes, yeah, Patty Jenkins with the Wonder Woman movie. Yeah.
Well, the best writers
James
have
Gunn,
great editors, and that's true even for filmmakers. You need a good editor that you can trust and that can help guide you through the story. And I think that's something that we've lost recently.
And obviously, even the money people aren't putting any limitations on them as well. Like no one's putting limitations on them in any way, so they don't have to.
Well, they certainly aren't with the fucking Star Wars movies, that's for sure, as we've seen.
So they don't have to fight for any idea or work out how to do anything a different way, and it's you can see it. You know, it's just bland shit.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to ask you guys about, like, I don't know how many of you on the panel are fans of Lord of the Rings. I know MauLer is a little bit of a fan. You quite like it.
Oh yeah,
don't
the
you?
Sean Connery movie, right?
Yeah, exactly. Shall not pass, MauLer. Yeah, do you know that like it makes you a racism if you like the Lord of the Rings because
why else would I like
orcs?
I was about to say that's what makes it good, isn't it? How racist it is.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I just find that that line of thinking to be just utter BS. Like it's just not. And whoever starts saying that, they're just saying that for attention. It is just not true.
Well,
But
it's like major
it's
universities now. Like this is a part of like academic discourse now. Like at least in the UK, the analysis of Lord of the Rings in university context can only be allowed now. You only pass your media literacy course, whatever the fuck it is that they hand out, if you denounce Lord of the Rings as being racist and Western centric and unaccepting of other cultures and races.
This is one of these ones that does my head in,
man.
Because you can't get across you're the racist for saying it. If you're seeing it and teaching this, you're the racist, and that's you just can't get it through to them that no one else in the real world, normal people, don't see it the way you're seeing it. You're the problem here.
Listen, you got to play within their rules, play their game, make the article or the essay, whatever, say Lord of the Rings is racist and why that's good. And then...
That's a good thing. The only response I had to this on Twitter was like, okay, if you look at orcs, like a race of pure evil bred for one purpose, to destroy and pillage and rape, and you see black people, you're the problem. Like, I don't know how else to put this to you. That's not how normal people perceive Lord of the Rings or any fantasy genre.
Imagine having told Tolkien any of this shit. He would have been like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, that's how he would have said it, by the way, 100%.
I mean, and if you think about it, like, when Tolkien... Go ahead, Robot.
Oh, no, I was just saying something terribly racist, so please move on.
No change there then, Robot Head.
But if you think about it, when Tolkien was writing this story, he was going to the pub with his friends who are writers too. They were sharing stories. They were checking each other. You know, if Tolkien had made some like horrendous grave error, somebody would have called, like somebody who knows really well what literature does and what literature is meant to do would have been like, hey, buddy, you know, I think maybe you might want to change this bit. But there's none of that. There's nothing like that. And people who are coming up with these ideas, they're just looking for something to put their name on, to like hang their hat on, that they came up with this new theory, and then everybody jumps on it. Lord of the Rings is not racist. I'm so sorry. It just isn't.
I 100% agree. Sorry. No, on you go.
Oh, no, I was just going to add in, this isn't even an English course. It's a history course. And they're involving C.S. Lewis in there too. Like you have to pick apart all of the classic authors and how all of the stuff they wrote just hates black people.
Oh, yay.
It's like, was that decolonizing the curriculum by like cutting out all the authors who were actually good at what they did?
Right.
No, it's an interesting thing because it's like this kind of attack against like literary figures like Tolkien or C.S. Lewis, as you mentioned. It's like a series of waves, you know, crashing against the shore, or like the kind of sandcastle that represents like these guys' reputation. And it's like every time it comes in and every time another wave hits it, it just chips away a little bit more. And I can't help but feel like that damage will gradually be like this cumulative thing. And the intention behind it is to just remove them as a cultural force, because they know that people still within that sort of fantasy genre or the literary genre, they look up to figures like Tolkien as these guys who created great works of art that people still appreciate even now. And you can't challenge the ideas of that directly because it's too terrifying and it's too difficult. So you attack the character of the author who created it and say, well, you know, he was raised in this different era. And he was probably racist, and I don't really have much to prove it, but, you know, he's an old white guy, and of course he was probably racist because that's just what everyone was back then. And look at how they portray all these peoples who are not from the West, as we get it in Lord of the Rings. That's perfect fodder for us to like deconstruct now. And we love deconstructing things. Deconstructing things is great because once you shift the sands beneath people's feet, and you remove like their frame of reference for what is actually good storytelling, what's good character development, you can just rewrite the rules to serve you in any way that you want. Of course you can.
The thing is, though, does demolition count as deconstruction? Feels like there's a difference, you know? Just being like, I blew up a house, I deconstructed it. Like,
well, it's deconstruction in the sense that, like, the intent behind it is to destroy, but they frame it as deconstructionism because we want to pick apart the meaning behind it, but we don't really. Yeah, we're just going to say that because that makes it easier to frame as like intellectual inquiry. It's not. It's a calculated attempt to discredit and destroy people who created things that we'll never be capable of creating.
But you know what? In 50 years, the new intellectuals, the new historians, the new people trying to make their career in their name, they're going to be looking at the people who are writing right now, saying these things right now about Lord of the Rings, and then deconstructing why they're wrong. And, you know, so it just doesn't make sense. I mean, there's no logic to it other than people trying to make a career.
It speaks to a kind of because you know, we've talked about this before on the channel, where there's universal themes, there's universal ideas of storytelling, and like whether it's concepts of heroism, loyalty, bravery, self-sacrifice, whatever, like all that stuff comes in spades in things like Lord of the Rings. What you've gotten in the modern era is the backlash and the kind of polar opposite of that, where you have things like George R.R. Martin with the Song of Ice and Fire, where he takes the exact opposite route of like, oh, well, these old-fashioned heroes who would like traditionally rise up and you know, overcome evil in these trying times like this. Look what happens if you put them into a real-world, cynical, awful situation where they just fail time and time again. You need people who are able to play the game, who have like moral grayness, who are willing to bend their principles and stuff in order to succeed and thrive. And look what we can create with that. And that was great up until a point, but now people have kind of abandoned that as well, partly because he hasn't fucking made anything worthwhile in like 15 years, but also because that kind of nihilistic, morally gray view has itself become old, and it doesn't lead to anything. It's hollow, it's empty, it doesn't nourish people. It doesn't provide you with a satisfying story at the end of it. And that's kind of interesting thing. Like, people will remember Lord of the Rings 100 years from now, long after we're all dead and gone. I don't think they're going to remember A Song of Ice and Fire. I really don't.
If you can't fucking finish it, it's in jeopardy of being forgotten with time. So
there's that.
I mean, you know, if it had like a really good ending, we'd be able to talk about what the ultimate point of like a lot of different portions of the story were. It's just really awkward position right now where we have to wait and assume things from the show, which were obviously like, ugh. You know, in terms of meaning, like,
he's never going to finish it, MauLer. Like, I honestly don't think he could ever finish it at this point. And whether he meant to sell away the inspiration for his story or not, it's already been finished by people who did it poorly. And now to write it all out, when you're a writer, you have this fire inside you to finish that story or to finish that arc or finish that character. And he absolutely just let that burn out by giving it away to HBO and then having them destroy it. I don't think he has the heart for it. And I think that's why he's going to the Hedge Knight series, because he does have a heart for that. And he is putting his heart into that product. Whether it turns out good or not, I cannot say, but I feel like that's where that's like the best comment. Yes, he is hedging his night.
I think Gary made a great video about George just recently and like his inability to finish anything. And it's like he would much rather well, there's a great like montage of him just like playing like games around his villa and like, you know, just like playing racquetball and shit, like anything to avoid writing Winds of Winter. But like he would much rather do the Hedge Knight, sorry, the Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, than finish Winds of Winter, because it's a nice simple story that he's got with that. Like he's not tied into this like ridiculous overarching narrative with a million characters, and it's like it's easy, and it's something that he can just like rattle off in a few hundred pages and move on to the next book.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he's going to appreciate that. But like he's always going to be remembered now as the guy who started a story he couldn't finish. He bit off more than he can chew. And based on the dimensions of George R.R. Martin, like I feel like he can probably bite off and chew quite a bit. But not in this case, sadly.
Damn.
Sorry.
You should do a Blazing Saddles and have them all break through the wall into a musical number.
I mean, there's got to be something he can do. Like he's gonna have to turn it over to someone at some point. But
have him turn it over to Brandon Sanderson. He seems able to finish everybody's stories.
He like the I think the prevailing theory is like whatever ending we got from Game of Thrones, the TV show, that was what he had planned in a form for his books. He would have told the showrunners that they could run with it in order to give something that was roughly in line with what he was thinking. The show was horrendously received, and now he's in panic mode because he knows he can't do that. He has to come up with a whole new ending, and he doesn't know how to do it.
But you think he'd see that in a good way? It was like, oh, now I can fix it. I nearly fucked up there. But like you were saying, Erin, I think it's just the fire's burnt out now. He just can't get back into it.
A good writer could have pulled off that ending. They weren't good writers especially for that last season.
They were not good writers because once they couldn't copy and paste what was in the books, they didn't have anything to work from, and also they were super keen to get onto a Star Wars trilogy that they were totally going to do.
Yeah, man. The big thing is they just didn't care anymore. They just wanted it to be done. Remember, they were offered more seasons or whatever, right? And they were just like, "Nah, we're fine."
Right.
Just like, damn.
Yeah. So they rushed it along and didn't put everything in there that should have been in there to get us to that point. They never brought the audience with them. They just brought the characters to the end, and that's how you betray everybody's trust. And that's when we all put our hands up and walk away.
You know, the thing that really like soured me on George was this like interview he gave where he talked about his thought process behind the writing of the characters and like their ultimate fates. So it's like everyone assumed that Ned Stark would be the hero of the show that would rise up and he would lead the North in rebellion against Cersei and Jaime and all that in the South and save the day. So, like, his first thought was like, okay, well, I've got to kill him because he's the obvious hero. Okay, well, who's next? Robb, his son. Like, he's the next most important character. Like, he's capable of leading armies and stuff, and he seems like he's got it in hand. Right, well, I'll kill him. What's next? Well, Jon Snow, I guess. He's the next obvious one. I'm going to have him stabbed and bleeding out at the end of my next book. And, maybe he'll die, maybe he won't. And I just thought, motherfucker, is that your extent of your thought process here? Like, I'm going to take the most heroic, best characters and just kill them one by one. What's left then?
Arya.
Yeah.
Like he literally, like, it's funny that you came up with that thought process because literally the one person you would never expect to kill the Night King is the one person who does at the end.
Well, she got amazing plot armor. She got chicken soup solved to several skewers to the like intestines. That was
didn't the showrunner straight up say like we didn't want Jon to do it because it was like
too obvious?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they even said like it's going to be like a white guy saving the day, and we can't have that.
I don't remember them specifying
that was the level they got to.
I remember it just being like a really lame sort of. We want to have a shocking thing happen, and if Jon kills him, everyone's gonna be like, "Well, yeah, of course." so we got to do something else.
Yeah.
That would have at least given us that feeling of completion. You know, there's a promise that was made with that story, and the promise just was never delivered. If John had done it, even if it was kind of rote, we would have all felt like, all right.
When you have that much
We checked
build up,
that.
you've got to get to the orgasm, or you don't leave happy. Like that, you're allowed to finish with what people want in the end. Like there's all the twists and turns and the crazy bits, and where did that finger go? But in the end, we've all got to come together.
I could have honestly got behind even Theon being the one who kills the Night King. If he died in the process, I was like, that was a pretty fucking cool way to go.
Mm-hmm.
As it stands, he kills some White Walkers and then just freaking dies. Like it led nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I really didn't like the way they ended his story. A lot of people I remember at the time be like, "No, he bought time for Bran." It's like, fuck off, whatever.
The more you talk, the more I'm thinking how many characters, good or bad, got a fitting ending, and it's sort of the more you think about it,
the amount that got a fitting, the amount that got a fitting ending is like 1 in 20, maybe.
Dude, the last fucking fitting ending was Tywin dying on the toilet. Like, I guess the show goes to shit. Quite literally. A lot earlier than a lot of people are willing to sort of admit, right? Like every major character death, even people like Roose Bolton had a shit death, as far as I'm concerned. Is all the characters across the seasons as they're running out, it just feels like they're like, we gotta end this story. They die, whatever. They're gone.
Kill them off.
Like, oh.
Yeah, there's good questions here as well. Why would the Night King even bother with an all-out fight? He could have just continued to spread over and pick out everyone over time. It was shit.
It was very shit. Yeah.
Why would he even? Yeah, why would he expose himself? If him dying would kill all the White Walkers, why would you put yourself anywhere near the front line?
Hubris.
I fucking hate this. This happens so often in movies these days, where there's like a seemingly unstoppable enemy army, but there's like one guy who's essentially controlling all of it, and if you can just kill him, everything else just like withers and dies immediately.
The Emperor.
It's just like the laziest fucking writing to get out of things.
It was the end of Rise of Skywalker, wasn't it? So you just kill the Emperor, then everything else will just disappear.
I barely remember that fucking movie.
It's a good choice.
Yeah, because even Return of the Jedi, like when the Emperor died, like it didn't end the Imperial fleet or anything. Like they were still capable of operating without him. It's just like the
Death Star would have still been there, like if they hadn't blown it up, like physically blown it up. His dying didn't add to that. But
right now that would have been interesting if they'd killed him so he couldn't make more, but that didn't automatically kill all of the creatures that he created. They'd still have to fight the dead. That would have been
don't worry,
at least.
Don't worry, the Emperor had clones or like Snoke clones. Who knows? Like no one even really understands what the lore behind that was. MauLer, you've examined this in great depth. Did he create Snoke as a clone of himself to take his place and then killed him anyway?
I'm pretty sure there are like
Snoke clones.
There are just several interpretations. I feel specifically very sorry for the people who have to write the novelizations because they don't control any of this shit. They're just supposed to make it make more sense. And it's like, okay, but what is true? Like, what are we working with? I remember, I think it was Red Letter Media's review of it. They all like disagreed at the beginning of what even Palpatine was, whether or not he was the surviving version of the guy we see in the prequels to the OT, or a clone of that guy, or like a reassembled version of that guy or something. And it was just like, I don't know. And it's like, why is there a Snoke face in one of the tubes? And you're like, well, they made him. Okay.
Good enough for me.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys one more question, actually, before we do a few super chats. The Boys, right? The Boys TV show, right? Man, this is tiring. But Eric Kripke, the creator of The Boys and Gen V, and like there's another one that's coming out as well. It's like Rise of fucking Vought or whatever the hell it is. Yeah, he was recently asked about like what's coming up with The Boys season 5, and the question that was put to him is, Who is up against Homelander in The Boys season 5? Who are the major players in this, and how fast is this pushback going to be against him? And Eric Kripke said the following. He's got a lot of people who want to bitch slap him, obviously. Butcher is front of the line, but there's Stan, Edgar, Marie, Annie, and Huey. They're trying to mount a real push, but they're also outgunned and outmanned. You've got an entire country that has drunk the Homelander Kool-Aid. They're outmatched by the size of the hundreds of superheroes that are in every town across the country that have been given authority over the police. Oh my God, what could you be referencing there? So it really is a true underground resistance against a fascist government, which definitely has no comparison or parallel to anything going on in the real world. Oh, Eric, you're so cryptic. I just don't know what you're referencing
about
there.
His TV show like it's a revolutionary piece of fiction that's going to inspire countless generations, as though it's not just this immature, like, cum blood cox orgy thing that everyone makes fun of.
There's only so many exploding dicks I can see on screen.
That's what I mean.
Where I just get desensitized to it.
I wouldn't be able to take him seriously if I was in a room with him talking about, like, oh, this is revolutionary and you just have to fight. I was like, shut up. You have, like, a guy with a giant dick who strangles people with it. It's stupid.
Is that last line actually from the quote? Like, it's not a reflection or inspired by real events or whatever? Is that a real line?
Yeah, so he's being sarcastic. So he's saying it's definitely no comparison or parallel to anything going on anywhere in the world. I mean, like, I'm not drawing a political fucking line here or anything. I would just say Eric Kripke, the maker of The Boys, has got possibly one of the worst cases of TDS outside of Mark Hamill and Mark Ruffalo anywhere in Hollywood. This guy is just fucking relentless, and it just bleeds over into everything he makes. Whether you consider that a good thing or a bad thing, whatever. But, like, man, the Boys used to be just about, like, a kind of anarchic, fun, like, counterculture riff on superheroes and, like, corporate activism and stuff. It's become something very different under this guy.
It's like all the Tonight shows. Their egos, they're in the entertainment business, but that word doesn't mean anything anymore. Like, it's not at the forefront to entertain us. It's the message. Yeah. I've heard someone say that before. But anyway, that's all they care about is just they're oh my God, their political leanings are more important than bloody making it fun.
And I just thought, like, seeing this, I'm like, is this literally what we're going to get for the next, like, 4 years out of Hollywood? Is it like, what can we do to try and make ourselves more popular? Because this whole, like, political activism thing, like, really pissed a lot of people off. I don't know. How about if we just triple down on everything that we've done up until now? Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
And after the guy won the popular vote, you think you'd be stepping back and going, look, I don't like him, but maybe we should just lay off a bit. But no, triple down, as you said.
I just think that there's more interesting things that the Boys can tackle rather than just like literally current day. I'm going to talk about all the stuff that's happening in America right now. Because if nothing else, it's going to date it horrendously. If people watch this 2, 3, 4 years from now, they're going to be like, what the fuck is this show even trying to do?
Well, also, honestly, it's exhausting. Like, for those of us in America or as well as outside, I'm sure everyone is just exhausted by these stories, whether they're the real life stories or the stories in the movies and the TV series that we're watching. Can't they just, like, focus on a story and write the story and let the themes and topics come out of the story that would naturally come out of a story, because that's how stories work, rather than cramming things into these stories that aren't supposed to be in there? And when you do that, it undermines everything, and then it turns into crap, and then nobody watches it.
No, I agree. We talked earlier briefly about One Battle After Another, where I think part of the reason that's not done well at the cinema is, like, it's not even a partisan thing, it's just an exhaustion thing, where I think audiences are just so fucking tired of this culture war stuff. They just don't want to see it in a movie, and, like, they don't want to be lectured by Hollywood about, like, how they should feel about all of this stuff. And to get it, like, in something like The Boys, like, as MauLer was saying, it's a show about, like, really, like, gross out, like, frat boy humor. Like, hey, how many dicks can we make explode in this one? Like, how much nudity can we cram into it? It's not deep. It's not like deep thinking bullshit right here.
He'd lost a significant amount of the fan base already, but do you remember last season? A lot of fans that align ideologically said that he'd taken it too far when Huey's dad dies, and in the following episode he's like in a rape dungeon getting sorted out by whoever, and he was just like, yes, funny. It's like,
yeah. And you kind of have to ask yourself, like, okay, so imagine if Huey was a woman or like a different race or whatever. It's like, would it be funny then? I don't think it fucking would be. So like, why is it funny to you now? And that's
not.
It's
just not. We're exhausted. I mean, I just want more movies like Good Boy because I'm just so tired of all the other shit. Give me a dog movie with a dog that acts that well, okay?
Well, yeah, something with a bit of, I don't know, something a bit different.
Yeah.
A bit of fun. But yeah,
a bit of escapism from the world that drags us down every day. Let us just escape into the television or the cinema and not be fucking lectured at.
Well, it's funny because like I made a video like it must have been a year ago at least about The Boys and like the backlash against it and like how the ratings had gone down and stuff. And I was literally just reporting on like what was happening. And I got loads of pushback from people like, oh, how can you fucking hate on The Boys and all that? It's like, well, I don't know. I'm just commenting on things that are happening right now. And like, there's clearly a problem with the show. Like a lot of people who used to like it don't anymore. Why could that be happening? I don't fucking know. Let's take a wild guess on this one. And then we get all the comments from like the showrunner himself, who's like, literally, this is just a political cudgel where I can beat people over the head with it. Okay, cool. If you want to do that, fine. I can't stop you. But like, hey, be prepared for your audience to like be a little bit like discontent with that.
Remember, he couldn't kill Maeve because she's bisexual or whatever. It's like, that was his reasoning.
So that makes her safe then.
Well, it's just like, good God, man. So like disrespectful.
I didn't know that was a bisexual power.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
They're immortal. Bisexuals can't die. Don't you know that? Robot head.
Learn something new every day.
Live forever or put a penis in my mouth. I don't know.
I got to a certain point with The Boys as well where I was like, I don't understand why Maeve is still even in it because she does nothing. Her whole role is to be like really sad about what Homelander does, but not actually do anything against him.
Why is any of it still going? The story, every single season, it's just like, oh, Homelander's going to go unhinged. No, it's okay. It's okay.
The only way I can assume it is like The Boys has become like The Walking Dead, where there's like a million spin-off shows and no one gives a shit about any of it, and it's got no cultural relevance anymore. But somehow it turns enough of a profit that they can keep making more.
On that note, I did see a clip on Twitter. Does anyone else know what I'm talking about? A Gen V clip? I'm assuming no.
No.
I don't know how else to explain this, and it's good reason to never watch this show, but the powers in it are pretty crude, much like some of them are in The Boys. And there is a guy who I guess they're trying to stop, and this girl like says a command to another girl who unzips her jeans and ties him up with her extended pubic hair.
You know what? This doesn't surprise me, considering the first scene of season 1 of Gen V was a girl getting her period, and then her period blood kills her parents. So
That's what I mean, man. It's like,
it's like what they did was they got a bunch of like, it's like they got a bunch of 13-year-olds, put them in a room and said like, come up with the grossest fucking superpowers you can imagine, like the most like weird out there bullshit, and we'll put it in the show. And that's what they got. Even what they picked, like, you know, pubes are funny, and it's like periods are kind of gross. Like, I don't know, what if the blood can shoot out of you and fucking kill people? Yeah, sure, let's just go with that. That'll do.
I mean, they walked like the average fucking high school boys fucking around and making jokes and doodling dicks on pages, and then they handed them millions of dollars to adapt it into a TV show with real actors, and they were just like, "Why are you doing this?" It's like, why not?
Because, like, you get one of those jokes. MauLer, like when you watched season 1 of The Boys, like what was your take on it? Because like at the time, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, like I was like, this is kind of fun. It's kind of
it comes at a time where we were inundated with superhero stuff of a particular formula, so it's like there's a possible welcome aspect of being like, okay, it's a bit more cynical, but not like completely. You know, remember Starlight's arc in that one, in that season, is like she's hit with all of the industry shit to drag her down and undo her principles and just join the rest of them, right? Only care about yourself ultimately and do the job. Don't actually care about saving people. But at the end, she chooses, you know, like, no, that's not who I am, that sort of thing. And you know, that season has the reveal of who Homelander actually is, which is something I think they could have gone a little longer in terms of revealing. You know, and Carl Urban's entertaining as fuck. The plot line is a bit more structured than the rest of the seasons, I think. And there's something there. There was absolutely something there that could have become something else. I don't know. Oh well.
Can I just make like a mention? Because like I remember watching The Boys season 1. And I was just thinking like, why do people think that this is so awesome? It's like okay TV at most, and that's probably because of the time it came out. But I don't know. Has anyone read any of The Boys comics at all?
No, I haven't. No.
Oh, okay. So
Gary has.
I decided to just read. Yeah, there's like they've got the collected issues. So I read one of the first collected. I think it's like 1 through 7 or something like that. It's a series that's already like inherently political because it takes place like in a post 9/11 America. There's like a lot of Bush analogies and whatnot. So like I can understand why a TV adaptation would go the way it did with someone like Eric Kripke behind it, but also just like Kripke doesn't understand the source material, and had this been made 10 years earlier, we would have gotten something far more competent and actually would have like left its mark on cultural relevance. So it's like one of those shows, sadly, that I just wish had come like 10 years earlier and it actually would have been mint. Like it would have ended by now and we'd be sitting here still talking like, oh my God, remember that awesome like anti-superhero show that came out? Yeah, that shit was fire.
Well, you know, they don't know how to end shows. Like that is, I think, just like a given in Hollywood is they don't know that story arcs, characters, whatever, have a natural expiration date. And I think one of the things that I actually do love about British or UK made series is they look at their story and they're like, oh, I think this is a 3-season run. Let's do that. And then they do it and then it's over. In the US, it's like, okay, we can just keep churning this shit out. They don't know how to gracefully end a story. And I think that's half of the problem that we're dealing with right now.
It's back to the orgasm idea. You got to get there. You got to just finish this stuff off sometimes. There's other things to do in life.
It always comes back to orgasms with you, doesn't it?
Oh boy.
Tell you what, let me see if I can do a few super chats while we're going here. So let's see. Yeah, this is from Blankface. The racism community denounces connections to Lord of the Rings. In the old days, to be a racist, you needed to hate people based on their skin color, not be an enjoyer of an epic fantasy IP. We won't admit Lord of the Rings fans to the racism club. Rightly so as well. Yeah, I mean, like it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You know, you could now it's become just like the thing where you just label everything as racist and then move on without engaging with any of the ideas or anything. So yeah, when you do that, if everything is racist, then nothing's racist, because
that's like kind of a funny angle though. Talk to a, for lack of a better term, card carrying racist and be like, you must love Lord of the Rings. They're like, huh? I mean, this is a good film. Yeah, I don't know.
Real racists must be so confused these days.
We must discuss Gondorian supremacy. You know? Jordan Pendragon says, I'd like to take this time to remind myself that J.R.R. Tolkien was in fact African. Well, there you go. Actually, where was he born? Let's see if I can find this out. So, yes. Blah, blah, blah. No, he was... Oh, yeah. He was born in... Yeah. I'm probably going to butcher this word here. Bloemfontein. Which is the largest city of the Free State province in South Africa.
Wow.
So there you go.
You know that
so maybe there's some truth to the orcs and the black people. Originally wanted to call them Kaffers.
Yeah. There you go. Blankface says, never forget to wash your peanuts Well, I never do. Thank you. Good advice for life. Faber Soul says, are famous actors sometimes overvalued? Invincible gets a lot of criticism for spending too much of its budget on getting famous actors to voice cast. That's a good question, yeah, because some voice actors are not that distinctive. How can I put it? Like, a lot of like an actor's gravitas comes from their physical performance, and their voice is only one part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's certain people like, Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart, or Sean Connery, or whatever. Like, they've got very distinctive voices, and you know when they're voicing something. Others, not quite as much. So I can understand that.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of actors aren't quite like familiar with the process of voice acting as much, and then there are other actors who are just fucking excellent, like naturals at it. I would say, just for reference, right? Because you'll know a drinker, a lot of people will, but Kelsey Grammer as Sideshow Bob is fucking hilarious, and it's so good because
that's a really good example actually, because I never think of him as Sideshow Bob.
Yeah, he's so enthusiastic, so detailed in the way that he delivers all the lines. It's like, oh, that's a voice actor.
He has a very pleasant voice to listen to when he really goes into it. It's like very rich, very deep. He's got that kind of mid-Atlantic twang to it. Like, yeah, I can get that.
The fact that they got the brother from the show to play his brother, Sideshow Bob's brother, was
great.
Oh, Niles,
Niles.
Gotta love Frasier. Like, I've been rewatching it recently, actually.
It's a good show. Good series.
It's one of the few sitcoms that can consistently just have me belly laughing, and that's a rare thing, like especially for an American sitcom. So no, I appreciate
what a
it.
like low key goat cast for the Beast. Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah, it's a good choice. Praise be to the Space King. Yes, we agree. LC Le Pen says, "Hail Open Bar. Went to Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights for the first time. Had a blast, especially Fallout and Terrifier. What movie, game, or show would you want as an official haunted house? Resident Evil."
They actually did Resident Evil 1 year, apparently.
At Universal?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, shit. I'd do that.
Yeah.
Apparently it's really good how they do Halloween. That's all I've heard anyway.
Yes.
This year was really good. The last couple of years have kind of been meh, but like they really upped their game this year. The only problem was all of the Five Nights at Freddy autists were there. So just very loud and rambunctious. But the Terrifier house was awesome. So was the Fallout house.
I want a Rapture house. Do a Rapture house.
I just don't want a Pennywise house, because if there's one thing in the world that scares me, it's a clown or a spider. That's it.
Why not both?
I went to when I was in Vegas, right, many years ago. I went to Madame Tussauds, and they have like a Terrifier kind of not a ride, but it's like an interactive experience that you can go through, where you walk through it, and like a guy dressed as a killer clown will chase you through it. And you're normally meant to go with like big groups, but it was dead that way. Like that time I was there, like there's no one else there, and my girlfriend wouldn't go with me. And I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just go through by myself." And I kid you not, I think a bit of poop might have come out while I was doing it. It was fucking terrifying. Like the rational part of your brain tells you it's just a bunch of actors in makeup chasing you around. It's just a mess around. But
hey,
man,
it is until it's not, drinker. Like,
yeah,
it is until it's not.
There's a part of your brain going, "This could be real. They could be turning on me at any moment."
It is a real killer clown.
It's when you walk into a room, because like you go through a bunch of different areas, and like there'll be a guy just stood in the corner, like with his back to you, like and his head down, and it's he's gonna do something when I'm getting towards the exit. He's gonna come at me, and he does, but like it doesn't prepare you for it. It's
and there's nothing you can do. You can tell yourself over and over and over, he's going to jump, he's going to do something, and your body's still like, ah!
Yeah. I could not get to that exit fast enough.
What did you say to your girlfriend? Yeah, it was okay. Yeah.
She was like, what's that brown stain on your jeans? Like, nah, it's just a word.
You smell funny.
Zeddy Boy says he who cannot be named in super chats is the mole man to Kaya's Pim and Charlie. Dan won't ban him because he thinks his thing looks delicious.
Huh?
So literally, I've got no idea what you're talking about there, but
There's a
sure.
detailed Smiling Friends reference right there. Just smile, nod, wave, say yes.
Yes. American Psycho, Blade Runner 2049, and Tron AIDS. Jared sports the same stupid ass movie destroying hairstyle. It does actually. He likes his long hair. What's the next thing he's been? What has he been casting now? Like, there's another movie he's
Pacific Rim.
Yeah, that's
really.
Yeah.
Yep. And he's also going to be Skeletor in the upcoming Masters of the Universe live
yeah,
action.
that one shocked me. The
Jared,
skeletal.
stop it.
Yeah.
Jared, enough.
Why would
Skeletor with long hair?
on him? yeah, the goatee.
You know what? I'm just excited to hear what he's going to give all the cast as Skeletor. Like, what's it going to be this time? You know,
just bones.
Yeah. Real human bones. There you go.
Yeah, I can join his cult to get the bone.
I mean, imagine being on the set of fucking Justice League and like he sends you like a used condom. Like, 'cause that's what he was doing to some of the cast just to get into character as the Joker. It's like, what do you even do with that when he when you see him on set? Like, thanks, Jared. This is a great prank you played on me there. Really appreciate that one, buddy.
He's so edging around the outside of the Me Too movement. He sort of he just got through that. And now he's probably just praying that no one brings that up anymore.
I don't know how he made it. Like,
he's starting the Me 3 movement.
Yeah. Next up is Reno the Turk. Studio said that you want to be in the Neutron, and podcast Jared thought they said Neutron, the Jimmy Neutron experience parody.
Experience.
Or sorry, XXX parody. Sure. Blankface, is there a particular song that gives a musical high, a feeling of euphoria from how amazing the song's lyrics and music are that you feel like you're floating in its amazement? I have quite a fair amount of songs like that, but I'll give Muse Knights of Sidonia as one example.
Yeah, it's fair. I love the song from that album or the whole album as well. I mean, it's just, where do you start? We're just gonna have to name all of our favorite songs from all our favorite singers, bands.
Yeah, and it's gonna be unique to each person, so it's kind of like, I think
streaming. I'm terrible with song names because I just click it on and then go back to work or doing something. It's not like the old days. You'd be looking at the CD cover or something. So I'm just terrible at naming songs on albums now.
Reno says, known as and franchise destroying hair design, shared by Jared Leto and Brendan Gleeson. Well, we've got Joker 2, but like, is that it for Brendan Gleeson?
Oh, it's not his fault already. Like, Jared Leto does annoy me in these films. Brendan Gleeson, he was just, as soon as he saw the rape scene in the script, he was like, I'm in. Let's go. Did it for the memes.
Yep. Blue Collar first met Vex after she tore the Last of Us show to shreds. Been a fan ever since. Drinker took my vid to see Last Dragon 40th Anniversary Horizon. He loved both. Sorry, I said vid. I meant to say kid. Yeah, excellent choice to see Event Horizon. Hope he enjoyed it. Vex, welcome aboard.
Thank you for having me, and thank you, BC. I love you, bro.
Nice. Drinker's worst take. Gandalf versus the Balrog is a fantastic Marvel movie. This is what alcohol does to the brain kids. Did I say that?
Oh, it might have been on the EFAM movies where you had your awful takes on the Balrog scene and stuff.
I still hold by the intro to the Two Towers, like Gandalf falling through half the planet Earth and like grabbing his sword mid-flight and stuff, and then fighting the Balrog. It felt like a little bit much. And I say this as a person who read the books many times, in fact, MauLer. So I know more about Lord of the Rings than you do, in fact.
No, books maybe. Not necessarily the films, buddy.
Yeah, I know it's metal as fuck, but I didn't love that scene, and I still don't love it.
I do, and it is metal as fuck. A wizard and a dragon,
you know,
ultimate
we're all
battle. I
entitled.
love it. I'll watch it a million times tonight alone.
We're entitled to one retarded take in our life, and you've just cashed yours in, buddy.
Who's that retarded? You know what?
You know, MauLer's like secretly like, I'm just gonna watch it right now. You guys keep talking.
Yeah, he probably is. He's gonna go silent for the next 5 minutes.
Balrog versus Gandalf.
Just hear in the background, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Love it.
So Adam Driver wanted a movie starring the bastardized version of Jason Solo with a plot that rehashes Search for Spock. No thanks, Disney Star Wars is trash. I'll stick with the expanded universe. I can't think of much in that I disagree with, actually. So, sure. Just for reference, actually, I'll bring up the how are we doing on our poll? Yeah, so we've had 7,600 votes on this.
Insane.
And I'll just say, so do you want to see a Kylo Ren movie? Yes, 20%. No, 80%.
Wow. There you go.
I'm shocked.
The 20%, the 20% that voted yes. Why? Out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Probably out of curiosity.
Some men just want to see the world burn.
The 20% of YouTubers that want clicks on their videos about it.
Right.
So I vote yes.
Greatest theme that I heard for Corin Sweat Superman is Diaper Boy. That's spot on. I mean, I can't argue with that either. Marton, how do you even say that? Sispregi? MauLer quote of the day. That's how we're going to win. Not fighting what we hate, but bypassing the compressor. That well-known MauLer quote.
I don't think that I said. Yes, I said that 100%.
You did.
I said it right after I said that Gandalf is the Balrog is a Marvel movie.
MauLer 2025. Master of Puppets. A couple of days late, but I just had my 40th birthday. Thanks for the content and look forward to the short films. Well, you get to see MauLer's short film on Kickstarter on Saturday. I almost said Sunday, but that's wrong.
Does it come out Saturday?
Yes, on the Kickstarter. So I'm going to... I'll make the film viewable, and then we're going to do a live stream on the Sunday night just to like have MauLer and the director Lance give their thoughts on it. And if we can get a couple of the stars from it, that would be nice. We'll try and do our best. But yeah, looking forward to that. Next up, Mexi Rage says, just rewatched the Van Helsing and the scene where Dracula asks Igor, why do you torment that creature? And Igor responds, it's what I do. Made it even funnier, and I put the internet asking Hassan that question. Lol.
That movie's got its highlights. It's fun.
Oh, Igor is great in that.
What I do.
Yeah. It's Benny from like
Benny.
Yeah, like, well, how can you not like him? Space Whiskey, always love your facts in the beginning. I actually rescued me once in a conversation. Yes! Pointless facts to hit people with. I love it. Ryan Crawford, RIP Star Wars, not so much Ben Solo. Yes, I agree. What are you being for Halloween? I mean, me, I'm terrifying enough as it is. What more do I need? It's next, The Hunt for Sneem, a Schlurpo story. It's a pretty good story.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, good point. In Scotland, it's illegal to have sex with a bicycle. Well, it's never stopped me, okay? In Ireland, you must legally defend cows from pirates, but Wales doesn't have any funny laws because they do whatever England tells them, and the English are very boring. Well, not strictly true, because it's legal to shoot a Scotsman with a crossbow within the walls of York as long as he's wearing a kilt. That
makes
law
sense.
has never been repealed.
And now the story of how you found that out.
Well,
let's not talk about that.
Also, England with Wales, it's like, you guys are doing everything we tell you to do, right? And we're like, yep. No worries. Nothing illegal going on
here. You're not using your own weird language, are you? Nope.
Nope.
To this day, I'm convinced it's not a real language.
How many people had to fuck bicycles for them to make that a law, though? Like, was this a common thing?
Yeah.
Because bicycles are a relatively recent invention. What, it's like the past couple of 100 years, and then guys just started fucking them. It's like, man, we got to deal with this problem.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Where? How do you even do it?
There's so many.
I don't want to think about the mechanics.
So many options.
There's one guy from one village that so many laws are based around. Just things.
Just wanted to see the world burn.
Was it the way the bicycle was dressed? Is that it? Like,
yeah, it was just asking for it.
She was.
One of the main selling points of the sequel trilogy was to see the cast from the originals together in those new movies. Yeah, that never happened.
Yeah.
TFA didn't put them together even in one scene, and that was the one job that Jar Jar Abrams was supposed to do. Well, he probably didn't count on Carrie Fisher fucking dying, I guess.
That's not
in the first film.
Well after, yeah, like they didn't plan to have that in TLJ even, right? Because she died after they finished filming TLJ.
Yeah, and
Right.
Han,
And they killed Han Solo.
Yeah, and Han was
right?
dead at that point.
Han.
So,
That's a good point.
Right
Yeah.
above.
it's it might actually be one of those baffling decisions in all of media history in the industry ever. Just that you didn't start the script for TFA with one scene in mind, and we have to get things moving around it, which is those three in a room at some point. Yeah. Insane.
They didn't want to take away from the fantastic and stunning and brave new characters that were just going to thrill us all.
Well, that turned out well, didn't it?
Well, we're still going to get a Ben Solo movie, apparently. So, yeah.
To rub salt in the wound, my favourite scene when C-3PO says, I'm looking at all my friends. He doesn't even know who the fuck they are. All his friends are dead.
I honestly wanted one of them to have like a Curb Your Enthusiasm moment where they're like, you're not my friend.
They treated him like shit for the whole movie, so I don't know why he liked him.
Yeah. Here's a question for you, MauLer. I heard on Real BBC that you're watching the WGA's #7 best written US series of all time, Mad Men. Thoughts and where are you in it? Before my time, but honestly, do a miniseries with anyone on even better show, The Prisoner, 1967.
Oh, The
I've
Prisoner.
nearly finished season 1, and I'm just really liking it. Mad Men's pretty awesome. It's just top-notch TV. Like everything is well paced, well acted. The dialogue's really awesome. There's loads of sort of insights about how marketing works, how people work, and why certain things worked over history, and then intertwined with some historical elements, like them trying to figure out how to get Nixon to to win the presidency, basically. And as the episodes progress, they keep like trying different strategies and talking about how it's going to work. And then of course you have the whole like every guy in that world is just cheating on their wife and trying to get away with it.
And smoking and drinking. They're living the dream.
And Don
they're
Draper's
always drinking through meetings.
Yes, they are, and smoking
They
cigarettes.
must be fucked by the end of the day. Like, I don't know how they drive home or anything.
Yeah, and Don Draper's an
Big
awesome guy.
V8s, burning gas.
Yep.
John Hamm doing fucking awesome in that show. It goes for 7 seasons, right? It was pretty successful.
It was long. Yeah.
The last season's a little bit iffy. Be curious to see what you think about it. But though leading up to that, it stays pretty consistently amazing.
Deebs says, cast Sydney Sweeney as Power Girl, make it happen. I just cast Sydney Sweeney as anything, like Lara Croft. Like it's calling out for her.
She would be good.
I need to
Cast
watch
her
that
for
new
Balrog?
thing she's in where she's like a boxer, isn't she? I can't remember what the movie's called. Fuck. I might just like speaking into the void here. Like,
Yeah, I don't. I can picture it because I saw it on the internet, but I don't remember
All
the
right,
name
hold
at
on,
all.
wait.
Yeah.
We're all just
I
picturing
can't remember
Sydney
it.
Sweeney. We all just drifted off for a moment.
let me just.
I'm so sad because I really like her.
Christy, it's called. Yeah.
Christy, yeah. I don't like boxing movies. It's just my thing I don't like. So I'm so sad. I might have to watch it anyway.
It's not the role I would put her in automatically. I can think of other things to do with her, but
Really?
yeah. But anyway, that's for me. So.
Is anyone else surprised about that?
But no, good on her for like trying other roles, like that aren't just like glamorous or just playing up to the sex appeal or whatever. Like there's something else there. I think that's pretty admirable. Whether it's any good, I have no idea. But
It's a smart move on her part because everyone was going to see her just for her tits, and now they'll just go and see her for anything. So,
yeah. Hopefully she can keep it going. Bruno says, a corn farmer near me started making a huge maze in his cornfield around Halloween. You have Jason, Michael Myers, Freddy, etc. hidden or chasing you. It's awesome. Nights only. That actually sounds like a lot of fun.
yeah.
Man, we're too slack with Halloween in Australia. We don't do these things.
Yeah,
It's
like
big for like the last
what's
decade.
Halloween?
I'd say.
What is Halloween like in Australia? Do you guys go in for it or just not really?
A bit. Certain suburbs do, more for sort of taking the kids around and that. Like, there's no real adult parties for Halloween. And no big events really for it either. But it's only really because the supermarket started pushing it. They realized they could sell Halloween stuff, but it's more for the kids. So you'll see up to sort of teenagers walking around on the night. But there's certain streets you have to go to see any decorations that get in on it.
Yeah. It totally wasn't a thing when I was a kid in Scotland. Like, we didn't even have pumpkins. You couldn't get them over here. So if you wanted to make a jack-o'-lantern, you had to use a fucking turnip. I remember my dad. I kid you not, right? I remember having a fucking cordless drill to try and cut out this turnip thing.
It's like a Simpsons story or something.
It is a Simpsons joke. That's perfect. You wouldn't even need to change anything about it.
It's true. It's true. You didn't have pumpkins in Scotland like back in the 90s.
A Halloween turnip.
Yeah, honestly. It stank as well. See, when you put like the lid on it and like the candle had been burning inside it, you got this horrible burned turnip smell. It's like made you want to throw up.
Hey, guys, I hate to jump in and interrupt, but I think my husband just fell, so I have to
shit.
Okay. Sorry, I just didn't want to jump without letting you know.
No, like go for it. Go help him, please.
Okay. All right.
I hope everything's okay.
I don't want to interrupt, but I think my husband might have just died or fallen over.
Damn. She took the time to send a private message about it as well. Like, it might have been minutes ago, and I just ignored it.
It's the most polite person I've ever seen.
Yeah. Honestly, I was actually, I was going to finish up there actually. Anyway, because we've been going for a while now, and the super chats that we've missed, we'll obviously cover them as we always do on Last Orders. But I want to say thanks to everyone who's come in for this tonight. Robot, Vex, and Erin. Yeah, been great to have you guys all in for this tonight. So appreciate it very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's always good. And Vex, thank you for joining us for the first time for your open bar debut. Like, I'm going to go and eat a sandwich after this, honestly.
You're welcome. And sorry I could not contribute to the Star Wars talk because I don't like Star Wars. So
I probably should have teach you a bit more about that in advance.
It's all good. It's
don't
all
like
good.
Star Wars. You're the perfect call.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch the Disney ones though. I just don't like the original movies at all. Like I gave them a chance.
Yeah, you've gone too far. You've gone too far.
I'm sorry.
Quit while you're ahead.
Bad.
Yeah. Vex never was seen on open bar again after this. But thank you guys, and I appreciate you all the super chats that you guys have sent. As I say, we will catch up on them shortly. But for now, at least, that's all we got for tonight. So go away now.
Bye.
Goodbye.